What is good, everyone? Dylan, yes, we started on time because you were talking some smack in the chat that we weren't going to start on time. So we decided to get our act together and get it going when we were supposed to get it going. But today we're going to break down some Dynasty teams. We got a number of reviews, number of trade questions to go through that have stacked up over the last week or so. And as always, if you guys do want to be part of today's stream, you can get team reviews, get trade questions over on the site. And I will link that in the chat right now for those of you guys that want to do it. I do also want to quickly announce a couple of things too. For starters, our first edition of the Redraft Rankings Manifesto 4.0 is coming out tomorrow. It will be kind of the baseline version of the ultimate draft guide because we won't have the contextualized game logs finished. We won't have the risk ratings finished. We won't have a couple of other things in there, but the FSC rankings versus home leagues, the positional rankings, tiered based rankings, the best ball rankings. For those of you guys doing underdog drafts, you can download CSVs of our best ball rankings, upload them directly to Underdog. That stuff will be in the first edition of the draft guide for those of you guys that are doing that right now. And then, of course, we'll be adding more features as the offseason goes along, including the draft ready cheat sheet and a couple of other things. The fantasy football news blurbs will be added as we go along as well. So that's a quick update. And then one other thing too, those of you guys that are starting to come back to the scene here from the redraft time, or also just Dynasty fans in general, you may know that we do have a mock draft simulator on our site. We haven't really talked about it too much because there was some bugs being worked out and whatnot, but there are 2025 fantasy football drafts, just like ESPN, Yahoo, NFL, only we have things in place that people take them seriously. And they're actually not, a bunch of 10-year-olds drafting defenses in round 6.
Oh, yeah. No, we got some prompts, some warnings instilled in there. You're not just going to have complete trolls that are like, hey, let me take a kicker in the first round and just completely ruin the flow of a mock draft. Because as you know, from your ESPN, your Yahoo, your public mock draft servers, people will just do whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah, and you can also do simulations as well. And the cool thing about these, let's say you wanted to, I'm not going to do this right now, but just to show you guys what it looks like. Let's say you wanted to do a Dynasty Superflex full PPR or something. You just hit continue, and you'll actually, you could just do it like a regular, simulation with no other users in there. And it'll actually, like you see, Zach bot, Flock League playoff bot is like anybody who made the Flock League playoffs last year. So Avery, Mason, and anyone else that made the playoffs. Expert bot would be the overall expert rankings. FSC bot's me and Danny's rankings combined.
Wait, so you're Corey Bushland, but also the toilet bot?
Yes, I am. Me and Nathan, and you're the toilet bot too, brother.
Oh, is it just anybody who didn't make play? Oh, I thought it was
maybe it's just me and Nathan. I'm not sure, but it could be anybody that was in the toilet bowl bracket period. I'm not exactly sure, but anyways, if you guys do want to check that out in the mock draft lobby, go ahead and do it. We're going to start with the trade questions. We'll go through those first, and then we'll double back to the team reviews. See a little roll call in the chat here, though. We got Rylan, what's good? Smooth Criminal, what's good? Sup, fellas, what's going on? Nemesis, obviously Dylan, what's good? Best content of the year, appreciate you. Xavier Lopez, what's going on? Apparently, AA, my Canadian brethren, or whatever you guys say. We say lads around here.
Lads.
Is that for only Mother Flocker with code FSE? Yeah, I mean, you need to be a site subscriber to access the draft guide.
I thought that said Fusu.
Promo code Fusu would be a hilarious bit if that's what our promo code was. What up, boys? What's going on? Tomorrow, is that a Canadian accent that I use? How do you guys say tomorrow? Do you guys say Tamara or something? How do you guys say tomorrow?
Pira.
Yeah, fellas, what's going on? Greet Arthur, yo. Say hello to Brazil.
Shout out Brazil.
What's good?
Let's go.
All right, let's get it into the first list of questions here. We got Staph Infection, our favorite username of all time, with a little Genty deal here.
Give me Genty every single time here. Oh, no, you're giving up Genty. Hold Genty then.
Yeah, in a start 10, I mean, you're going to want to favor the top-end talent here. I'm just going to briefly look at his team just to see. Yeah, I mean, you got Genty, obviously. Maybe you're looking towards, okay, I can't really compete with my wide receiver core, and that's why you want the pick equity. That's maybe the only rationale why you're thinking you maybe want to sell Genty, but there's just not enough here to make me want to do this. Swift, Moore, Fannin, they don't fit your build. I mean, Fannin, I guess, does, but if this was, let me ask you this, Danny, if this was 3 1s in Fannin, are you doing it then?
Nah. Like honestly, like I think your team's a way where if you rearranged it, maybe got some competitive pieces and some insulation, like that would be more alluring. Like theoretically, if we can do McCaffrey plus 2 1s, you can retain your contending window, add 2 1s to potentially use in season, and build the wide receiver core. Because quite frankly, you add, obviously you don't have to use those ones for these type of players, but it gives you the affordability to go get needle movers, to go get 17 plus point per game projections, because you'd have the luxury of doing that. So for me, like just like DJ Moore's not moving the needle, DeAndre Swift's not moving the needle, Harold Fannin, like sure, early third round type evaluation, but if I'm going to be able to get a load for Genty, I would need like not only just like fair market value, I would literally, like I said, need at least like a McCaffrey 2+ first type of deal to be able to make that move.
Yeah, bad choice of words with a load for Genty, but
I would drop a load for Genty. That's
we're gonna mark the winner as the Ash and Genty side of this trade. Also, Jonathan says, "Can you make more Dynasty content?" Hey, Jonathan, there's stuff that you want to see. Let us know. Comment in the chat, and we will probably make it. I think people sometimes, I remember somebody reached out to us a couple of years ago and was like, hey, if it's not too much trouble, I would love to see more of this. And it was very much a like, hey, don't worry if you don't make, I'm like, dude, if it's a good idea, we'll make the video. Like,
no, for sure. It's like, don't feel bad about making a suggestion.
Yeah,
I said that. Why did I say it like that? Suggestion.
That's how Canadians say it. JohnnyVictor G here. We got another trade offer on the table. 2 quarterback, 10 teams, start 9 PPR, no tight end premium. CeeDee Lamb and Puka, essentially in my rankings, a wash. Of course, Danny probably has CeeDee Lamb like minus 13 overall. There's just kind of a lateral move across the board.
Lamb.
You prefer to have Lamb here?
There's 2 needle movers in this deal. I have Lamb ranked higher, and respectfully, Pollard and Tyrone Tracy in the context of this deal is just jabber. Like, what am I
kind of just yap. I'd rather, like, if this was Puka and a 2 versus Lamb, okay, now you have a conversation on your hands.
That's like a reasonable area, because it's like you would need it would almost be like if I say CeeDee Lamb is worth like $15 and Puka Nacua is worth like $12. It's like I would want the extra $3 like tangible, because then I can even break that $3 into something else that I like. I wouldn't want like, oh, like I'm getting, like I wouldn't say like Tyrone Tracy's probably worth a second, but it's just like the fact that I would then have to liquidate him, that I would just rather do it up front. Like if you want to move down from Lamb into Puka, like just do it straight up with the pick. Like you're overcomplicating it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. This is just yap, like you said. If you like Tracy, sure, but like find a different way to get him. Honestly, there's no real reason. Even though I have Nacua and Lamb very closely ranked, it feels like an unnecessary trade here.
Hey, Dylan, I like Purdy, but come on, nope.
I see as the only non-partisan person here. Let's see how close I'm positive they're back to back in my redraft rankings.
I like Purdy.
I don't remember which one's higher.
I like Purdy.
Dak is at 11 and Purdy is at 12. So I'll break the tie there. On an all rookie startup in Dynasty, or maybe how to maneuver during a startup or making trades, when to move back, when to take players who fall for.
This was definitely a bait, but I mean, like I respect.
Yeah, it absolutely was a bait. Yeah. We could definitely make a potential video about our recent Dynasty startup that we did, even potentially too. Yeah. But anyways,
just finishing a Devi startup too. I mean, finished actually. I don't know why I said finishing. It's quite literally done. Yeah.
Back to staff infection for another Genty related heist. I guess these are just the offers he's being given for Genty. I mean, this one's definitely more appealing because you're at least getting some young building block type of wide receivers, and I would say absolutely more appealing than the first option. In a vacuum, I think I still slightly prefer Genty, but this one's like, I mean, given that he needs wide receivers and he's getting a pick back, like it's not bad.
Yeah. Also, Dylan, I believe you. I know you're not joking, but like you knew for a fact when you said it was bait. Like that's like what the reference is. Like, I think it's a reasonable take. They're close enough where like it's not like you're saying like I would take fucking I don't know Sam Darnold over Dak Prescott this year. No, that's just rage bait. You know what I'm saying? But let's go back to the deal. Sorry, I'm Mr. Yap. Yeah, I agree with you there. Xavier Worthy, I have him ranked right now at wide receiver 17. Obviously, with the news, Rashid Rice probably going to miss a few games, possibly up to 6 games this year. You do have that production ceiling of a mid-range wide receiver 2 to potentially be even a wide receiver 1. Obviously, attached to the offense, we expect it to be an offense that goes back on the deep passing game based on the remarks we've heard this offseason, bumping up the offensive line. I mean, who was it? Ohio State tackle Simmons fell to them in the draft. He's projected to be like a top 10, top 12 level pick. He's going to be their starting left tackle maybe as soon as, the first month of the season, depending on how that recovery goes. If Worthy can get, Patrick Mahomes getting time in the pocket, developing those deep shots on the field, like I do like Worthy. Obviously, you guys know my thoughts on the Bears offense potentially ascending. But with that being said, in the context of a start 10, I would need something a little bit more stable.
This is not a bad offer. I'm not gonna lie.
It definitely is not a bad offer.
If this is more an early projected first, because their only option is early to mid or mid to late in our thing. But if you know for a fact this was going to be like really, really high, like a top 3 projected first, I think there's enough upside here that you could maybe talk me into this one just because in a year's time, Romo Dunze and Worthy could each be worth 2 1s.
Yeah, no, I think that's reasonable. You know what I'd counter though?
What?
If that's an offer you got in your inbox, see if he'll go for it. You swap him a 2027 2 for a 2027 1. If you can add that on top of this, I think it's gravy. I think realistically, this is a competitive offer. Maybe I would say about 90% off of where I'd want to be.
Yeah, no, this is, let me ask you this. If he gets this to a 2026 2 instead of a third, does that
that would be about like 95% to about equal value. That's why I said like my counter would be trying to getting a little bit juice. If you can add the 2 on your side and get back a 1, like that would be a deal. I would just say, hey, if you're willing to do this right now, accept it. It's like a cash offer on an item that you like,
Yeah, no, for sure. That's close though. I mean, again, in a vacuum, maybe you want slightly more for Genty, but given his team construction, he needs wide receivers. It does make sense to make a move like that. We do have iStealth Gaming. The link to get a team review is in the description, and it's also linked in the pin chat. Arroyo and Dynasty rankings. I mean, I wasn't super high on the prospect. Yeah. I think it opens up a little bit of routes and snaps for him early on in the season. So I think that's definitely positive.
Straight up, like I obviously Arroyo should be ranked higher because of the coach speak we've heard. Obviously, they used the capital investment on him this offseason, but AJ Barner got decent draft capital, and AJ Barner was relatively efficient. Like, I think at this point in time, AJ Barner's a better football player. Now, in the grand scheme of things, from a dynasty lens, maybe the whole plan for the Seahawks is for Arroyo to be that guy. But I think as of today, AJ Barner's the better tight end. So I'm not going to have a big gap.
People make pro Barner takes too. Like, yeah. I don't think it. I think it maybe should have been expected, like you said, that Fant was going to get the chop from the team. Red, I'm not sure I understand your question. Is there a way to send y'all different sites for a team review?
It depends on the site. Like if it's like Flea Flicker, possibly not.
Okay. I see what you mean. Yeah, Sleeper and ESPN, I believe, are the only ones supported using the My Teams feature. But you can send us a Flea Flicker or My Fantasy League.
We would just need to record it on the
you
side.
have to provide us screenshots, and you're not going to get as good of an experience as Sleeper and ESPN because the team's part here doesn't load for Flea Flicker or My Fantasy League.
I know specifically for the Flea Flicker one, I've been given like a code, and basically Trade Cut has a similar function. Again, I would only do it for like a Flea Flicker. Obviously, if you're on like a pro site for the website, just do that because the My Teams feature is so easy for us, like specifically. But you can get like a decent bit of gauge just using the Keep Trade Cut one as well. One I've had to do once for Flea Flicker specifically, like the Big Laughter ones I've done. Yeah. He would send me the code on Keep Trade Cut. It's just unfortunately, like obviously the rankings are going to be skewed a little bit because Keep Trade Cut in terms of their data collection just simply is not like having access to what fucking 6 or 7 experts rankings on the site.
Yeah, I mean, experts is a strong word, but yes.
Analysts. Yeah.
I
don't want to toot our horn too
strong word. Bunch of yappers is what we have access to. The content schedule for this week, tomorrow, Dynasty requesters, updated 2025 rookie rankings, top 24s for because some people we've noticed, some people are like, hey, my rookie draft's coming up. And for us, that's unfathomable because we're complete sickos and we do our rookie drafts like a week after the NFL draft is over. But some people who have like normal functioning brain cells actually wait a couple of months to do rookie drafts. So we're going to update our rookie rankings in a tier list and give you guys an idea of anything that's changed since like April 28th or whatever we did the last rookie rankings tier list on. We're going to talk about RB dead zone strategy on Tuesday or Wednesday, I think Wednesday, because it's uniquely a pretty decent dead zone crop of backs that we have. Thursday, we might have a little bit of influx idea because we both looked at it today and we're like, I don't actually really like that idea. So we might change that one. Friday, the secret to drafting running backs early, those like early round running back strategy videos that I did on like the trusty veterans and the breakout candidates and the running backs in their prime, all those like hit rates, that should be coming Friday. We're talking NFL coaching changes later in the week. And then the end is near for wide receivers, basically the old version that I did for the running backs, but for the wide receiver position. So getting back to this stuff here, we got another trade from
I got to point this out real quick.
What's up?
I'm a certified Barner hater. That is like the most. Why do you hate
so niche,
AJ?
Dude. Only a dynasty player would say something like that. Like
AJ Barner,
like AJ Barner, that you're a certified AJ Barner hater. Like he might be like, I'm not important enough to have haters, dude.
Certified AJ Barner hater is hilarious.
Anyways, this is a Danny fucking special versus a Bush special here. We got Danny's, Glaze Fest on the right, and then guys that I really like on the left. I mean, we both like Brian Thomas, but
this is simple for me, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, Hampton and Achan's essentially a wash in my rankings. You see, I have 29 and 30 overall, respectively. Yeah. So it's a complete washout in my rankings. Hunter, Loveland for Thomas straight. I think I'm probably pocketing Hunter and Loveland there, especially. It doesn't say what the tight end premium is, but it is a tight end premium. So I think Loveland has to carry a decent amount of weight in this trade.
Yeah, I would agree with that. That's basically what I was referencing is I would take Hunter and Loveland for Brian Thomas Jr. as much as I love Brian Thomas Jr. And I do actually have Hampton a decent little chunk ahead compared to where you do. Let me just see exactly.
I'm just valuing the bird in the hand with 3 to 4 years of really high projectable volume. I haven't yet seen it from Hampton, even though I know I'm going to at some point.
Yeah, like let me see here. I have Hampton at 28th overall, and I have HN at 32nd. So there's a few spots there, but I mean the difference is quite literally just Marvin Harrison Jr. and Ted McMillan, I guess. So yeah, I mean you want to even them out in this deal, and then Hunter plus Loveland for Brian Thomas Jr. I would rather get the elite tight end, especially if you're pocketing any type of tight end premium, like it says at the bottom screen. Not to mention start 11, so depth will matter more in that context.
Yeah, and with a young team too, like you get a bunch of players, they're all rookies. Yeah. Obviously, the floor here is that they're all rookies. What if one of these guys busts or something like that? With HN and Thomas, you pretty much know they're already studs, that kind of thing. But I like playing it through the upside there of that deal.
Barner stole his woman.
Yeah.
What's good, Garage?
Yeah. How's the Debbie rankings? Kind of on pause for a moment. We'll probably have them out at some point in the next couple of weeks. We had to shift focus to some graphic related stuff, draft related stuff.
Spoiler alert! I got my top 3 set.
Yeah. I mean, I loaded in all the 2026 prospects. The next thing I actually have to do is start to do some research on the 27s and 28s to properly place them. But for the most part, I think my 26s are mostly set of guys that are first eligible 2026, how it would rank them. And looking back at our Devi board and things of that nature is the other thing I have to do to learn some of those 2027 and 2028 names, because I primarily do focus on guys that are draft eligible.
This is Bucky in the 109. It's not even close for me.
Yeah. I'm obviously Zay Flowers pilled. So if anyone's going to like this Zay Flowers side, it would probably be me. But yeah, I'm taking Buck here.
Yeah. All day. Give me that side and twice on Sundays. And I guess this is the they've received side that we are all over. So definitely do not make this trade.
Yeah, no, I'm Coleman, like as bad as it sounds for a second-year player who like we don't have a ton of information about, I am really treating him more as like a throw-in at this point in time. Like I don't really
late 2, early 3 type of.
Well, you saw my trade that I made in Tone Setter Truthers where I traded Barkley and DJ Moore. Essentially, in my mind, it was just Barkley, DJ Moore for Devon H. and Chris Godwin. And the reason I made the trade is because I like Chris Godwin better in redraft than DJ Moore. I'm a competitive team, and I wanted to get younger at running back and go from Barkley to H.N., which in full PPR, I don't actually think is a huge difference in redraft this year.
The way I treat Coleman right now is like a late 2, early 3 that it almost has an expiry date. It's like when you got a coupon off of like, let's just say it's a milk coupon where you're saving like 75 cents or whatever. And like, let's just say that's like a tangible value of like a rookie second. That's like Keon Coleman right now, where then maybe that expires like week 5 when people realize he's dog shit. Like that's kind of my concern.
I don't necessarily think he's dog shit, but
I don't think he's dog shit either, but I think he's going to be used in a way that makes him look dog shit. He's going to play X. He's going to look terrible.
In that deal, the other part of that trade was Keon Coleman for QJ, which to me, I'm like, QJ might be more useful for fantasy.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, realistically.
Well, that's what I'm saying, right? Like,
QJ was the better prospect, and if he has another year where he builds upon what he did last year, who's to say he's not more valuable than Keon in Dynasty by week 5?
I like Keon Coleman, the prospect, but realistically, he is not going to work out in the NFL if they just force feed him 80% of the snaps plus on the outside. He is not going to be a snap in, snap out X wide receiver. And you're not going to play him in the slot because guess who's playing in the slot for that team? You got Khalil Shakir. You got Dalton Kincaid. You got Elijah Moore. What the fuck do we have with Keon Coleman here? An outside wide receiver who can't separate now?
I really don't understand why they didn't take Xavier Worthy when they had the opportunity in the draft. And not even that, like if you were going to take a receiver to play at X, it probably would have made more sense to try and develop Adonai Mitchell.
No, literally though. It's just concerning because we both said that Keon Coleman, like Juju Smith-Schuster type of player, if you put him in the slot, use that yak game, very, very good yak player, very, very strong hands in tight spaces. It's like, you could very much see a path where, like, I'm not saying, obviously, with the context of how bad his rookie season was from a separation perspective, that he's anywhere close to this player right now. But we were saying, like, oh, yeah, high-end Keon Coleman, he develops properly. Who were we comping him to? If he was developed properly, like pure stealing.
I think we said, like, Juju or Michael Thomas or something.
Michael fucking Thomas. Like, and I still think, like, that ability, yak player, strong in contested situations, very good hands, like, those skill sets still remain, but if he's not going to play any type of slot role to hide his deficiencies right now as a pure outside separator, he is going to get washed away and he's going to lose all of his confidence.
Yeah, I do think, from what I understand, you don't have a strong take on a specific bill that you like. Do you have a take on a bill that you're drafting heavily?
Sorry, I just read this. If that's actually Mason, that's comedy. If there, so I'll answer that in a second. I don't know if Palmer's going to take the job, but I think he's going to get some snaps at the X and make him not a full-time player. In terms of my lean in this receiving core, like it's tough because it's like I feel like Khalil Shakir is like the 80% version of like what I think Zay Flowers is. Where if I think Zay Flowers is probably going to finish or destined to finish somewhere between like the wide receiver 20 to like the wide receiver 28, I would almost put Shakir at like the wide receiver 27 to the wide receiver 36. So like theoretically, it's like you can make the case that Shakir will outperform what he's doing. But the issue that I have is if you're taking like a modal outcome type of projection in the 7th or 8th round, it's like you're almost defeating the purpose of trying to take an upside swing. So I just like typically don't like that archetype of wide receiver in like the 7th or 8th round.
At least not where he goes now. Last year it was different because Shakir was going in like the 10th, 11th round. It's like, okay, yeah, could I use a depth piece that maybe I can use while I have rookies developing? Yeah.
It's just the issue that I have is I also think there's some positive regression in the receiving game that we could see from James Cook / the backfield in general compared to what we saw last year. And B, it's like, what if like 4 wide receivers finish with 500 plus yards on this team?
No, it wouldn't shock. And guess you hate it, but the reason that's why I'm playing it through Dalton Kincaid, because he's the one that I actually think has the most solidified role to snaps and routes.
Yeah, it's just that's the issue. It's like, again, Josh Allen, obviously the ultimate floor raiser in this offense, but at the same time, it's like if you can't separate from the pack, who's to say this isn't just an assembly line?
Yeah, I talked about it. So the video dropped earlier today was the tight end league winners video. And I'm like, dude, like I know Dalton Kincaid smells on the surface, but like he actually doesn't even like, I removed the fact that he could even be good. Like I basically took out any input in the, formula there that would say he's a good tight end. And he still comes out with a really high ceiling because he could be Zach Ertz on the Commanders last year and be a top 6 tight end in fantasy.
I guess maybe the issue there is with the declining snap share last year. Obviously,
that was injury related.
I get that. I'm just saying, obviously, injury context does matter. But like, what if they do say, hey, like Dawson Knox versus the Kincaid, he's not really separating right now, so we're going to split the snaps a little more evenly this year. Like that's the downside case to Kincaid is he loses his full-time autonomy based off lack of talent.
He might. You're right. If he's just completely not a needle mover at all and no one gives 2 shits if he's on the field or not, you're right about that. But the Bills like brass, like beat reporters and stuff have talked about how banged up Kincaid was. And I do think it's very possible that we're talking about a guy that still has just as high of a ceiling as he did when we were drafting him in the 5th round last year.
Yeah, no, and that's reasonable. Again, I also had him lower last year, so I think
I
from a
did too,
bias,
for what it's
I
worth.
just think from a bias perspective, that's also like making me even lower. Is that I was lower last year. He kind of vindicated me, so I just want nothing to do with this guy. But like, it's not like you're taking an actual opportunity cost risk on here.
No,
Like, it's not like
especially in home redraft leagues where you draft them in round 11 or 12 and you take Dallas Goedert the next round. And if Kincaid sucks, you use Dallas Goedert, you stream the waiver wire, whatever the case is.
Also, I meant risk from an opportunity cost perspective, not an opportunity cost risk. Like what am I talking about?
For sure. Anyways, Shady Sands has a trade question here. 2 quarterback, not super flex as originally asked on stream. So 2 quarterback league.
This is the liquidation price I can't pass up. I want the picks.
You want the picks over Bryce here?
I like Bryce, but fucking early to mid, first and second is a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I would argue this is about
you're set at quarterback.
He's trading for Bryce.
Yeah, there's no need to me, especially if you're trading your own picks. It's like, why would you do that?
I mean, I would argue that he's doing this because in a 2 quarterback league, you have to start 2 quarterbacks. Like if you have May out with a bye,
I guess
you have Lawrence banged up or something like that.
I would rather go cheaper and get like a Geno Smith type for like a second or third. You know?
Yeah, I think in a 2 quarterback league, I think you might be surprised how much people want even for Geno Smith types.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would maybe go down a tier. Like how much does Tua cost? Like can you get Tua for your own first? Like because you're a contender, can you get him for a mid to late one as opposed to paying an early to mid one for Bryce Young and a second there? But yeah, I understand the rationale. I do tend to agree. It's probably, I didn't see that it was an early to mid first. If that's expected to be early, then that's probably a little too much.
I agree. And apologies, I wasn't laughing at anything there. I was laughing at this comma. Nate's just like hardcore hating AJ Farr.
Yeah. Also, Shady just sent a trade here that says Brandon Ayuk for nothing. I mean, I'll take the Brandon Ayuk side there.
Yeah, I mean, like
if you're in the chat, Shady, just let us know what that trade was because I can't.
It's quite literally a free Brandon Ayuk. I mean, you can't complain.
Yeah. JJ McCarthy and Ted McMillan for Travis Hunter and an early to mid second in 2026. I mean,
it's a one quarterback league.
It's a one quarterback league.
Oh,
it's a one quarterback league.
Hunter then what?
In
a one quarterback, it's Hunter. In a super flex, now we will actually think.
Yeah, I mean, in a one quarterback, he's obviously not. I mean, he's also your third quarterback, and you have Drake May and Lamar Jackson. So
I absolutely think he meant to put in super flex, and he typed one quarterback by accident. Because look at the quarterback course in this league.
What do you mean?
Like everybody's got like 2 really good quarterbacks.
Yeah, but that's just math.
No, I know.
Quarterbacks.
I'm curious. Okay. I'm just saying it's a possibility.
One quarterback, because otherwise this trade isn't close.
What?
It's very easily JJ McCarthy and Ted McMillan in Superflex.
I think it's a close conversation.
What? Dude,
you think it's you think it's closer to one quarterback than you do in Superflex?
No. I'm saying if this was Superflex, it's very easily the JJ McCarthy and Ted McMillan side.
It's a lot closer in a Superflex context than it is in a one quarterback. Because in a one quarterback, it's easily Travis Hunter.
Oh, I don't think it's easily Travis Hunter. He's
in a one quarterback league.
One quarterback rankings.
In a one quarterback league,
him and McMillan are 5 spots apart in my one quarterback rankings. It's not that far of a difference to me.
I would take the second straight up. I would take the second straight up over McCarthy in a one quarterback league.
Yeah, that's fine.
So, and I would also easily take Hunter over McMillan. So, like, you're getting the better side of both sides. It's a lot closer in a super flex.
If they had one older quarterback and they wanted like a younger quarterback for upside, even in a one quarterback league, I could stomach paying a mid second for JJ McCarthy in a one quarterback league. It's not that much.
But then you're also downgrading Hunter into McMillan.
I don't think it's that big of a downgrade, dude. He goes basically in the same spot in redraft leagues. I mean, Hunter to me and McMillan were in that same top 2 to 4 tier that we talked about in Dynasty rookie drafts. It's not that I'm we obviously all know how high you are on Hunter. I'm just
it's more so just like
not that far of a conversation between McMillan, the Dynasty asset, and Hunter.
It's more so just you're downgrading from Hunter to McMillan, and you're at least paying market price, if not overpaying for JJ McCarthy with the second.
Yeah, I mean, there's people in the chat saying they prefer Ted, so that's why I'm saying it's actually a close call. You're saying it's not close. I'm saying there's people in the chat that are like, I prefer Ted.
What? Who?
Yeah.
There's one guy. It's David. He also said way overrating Travis Hunter.
I would like, this is my attitude towards McMillan and Hunter. If I was trading from McMillan to get to Hunter, I would probably not add that much to do it.
Then you're not getting a lot of Hunter.
How many shares of Hunter do I have, Danny?
That's
in Dynasty. I don't have any. I didn't get a lot of Hunter because every time I was drafting Hunter, I traded up for Genty or I traded back for McMillan because I was like, I don't really see a huge difference between these guys.
Question though, Travis Hunter was your 102, correct?
Yeah.
And McMillan was what, your 104, 105?
104.
So you're saying in the context of moving up from the 104 to 102 in a one quarterback league, you would also be giving a second round pick to move down 2 spots for a JJ McCarthy. Is that what you're telling me?
No, I like this side of the deal.
Okay.
Ultimately, but like think about it in the context of a startup. The 24th overall pick in the one quarterback startup versus the 19th overall pick. Yeah. Would you trade an early to mid second?
Don't get me wrong. In a super flex, I would take the JJ McCarthy side. I just think it's very clearly the Hunter side in the one quarterback. And I think you were downplaying that. I would still take JJ McCarthy and McMillan in a super flex league because I believe in JJ McCarthy. And you actually get paid off for
obviously this is a one quarterback trade, but again, if you want to say this is not even close for Hunter, that's fine. I guess my opinion would be if I'm trying to tier up from McMillan, I don't think Hunter's a tier up. He's in the same tier of my Dynasty rankings at wide receiver. Just like it wouldn't be a tier up for Marvin Harrison Jr. Like I would rather go McMillan plus something more significant than JJ McCarthy and go up and get Brian Thomas or Nico Collins or Puka Nacua or so. Like I'd rather get something better than
I get that.
Hunter and McMillan are both rookies. It's not a tier up necessarily. They're the same tier for me.
Well, Hunter's in that tier with like Lad McConkey, like that next year.
He is not for me. I have him,
and that's the difference.
Yeah, him, Harrison, and McMillan. Like him, McMillan, Harrison. They're all in a row for me, and they're all in the same tier. I value them very equally.
Yeah. No.
But yeah,
regardless, in a super flex, I would take it. But in a one quarterback, obviously Hunter side.
Yeah, anyways. That was an interesting discussion, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
In a one quarterback,
JKleiman.
I'm just reading all the comments.
Yeah, 11 picks, moving off of Jacobs, Chase Brown, Connor at running back, trying to build my wide receiver room. Going to draft 7+ running backs. Okay. Well, I'll look at his team in a second to see what he's
7+ running backs. I need to see the context of this immediately.
Yeah. Okay. Let's take a look at your team here. JKleiman. It says youth movement. So, okay. I'm assuming this one.
He's moving Jacobs?
Yeah. I mean, okay. He's saying he's going to draft 7+ running backs because he has 1 million mid-round picks in this year's class. I mean, you kind of got screwed with all them falling to like day 3 and shit. Whereas before, like this running back class absolutely looked like you're going to get some good guys second and third.
Backs. Why would you take like dart throws on some fucking cuffs and shit? Go consolidate these picks and some actual running backs that can help you then.
Yeah, or even like just during the rookie draft, try and maneuver up the board, like 209 plus 210 up to 203 or something. You know what I mean? Like you might as well just try and maneuver up the board.
What's the trade? Let me see it.
The trade was George Pickens and Jalen Wright for Josh Jacobs. I mean, like that's probably in a vacuum a kind of fair trade, but like it's not like a smash.
Well, let's work with this. Press the plus button. Let's try to construct a better deal than this.
On which side?
There. I mean, like, take off Jalen Wright because, like,
Jalen Wright's kind of useless.
Nothing to me. Go to see if he has a running back like that's young, maybe like
Spears.
You could do that. You could also go to the pick route. Like, if it's just insulation plus Pickens, like, can you substitute out the 205 maybe?
Yeah,
and then you throw in like
what I would probably do is see if you can nab the 112 and then give him a bunch of 2s and 3s.
Yeah,
on your side, like. Give him like the 206 and 208 or something, and then you can nab the 112.
Yeah, or like 206 and 303 or something like that. See if you can get that done, because I just think that'll help you a lot more. You don't want 208, 301. What, Byshell Tootin plus Dylan Sampson? It's
probably not even Byshell Tootin, man. You're probably looking at
Cam
Kyle Williams. You're probably like a Kyle Williams and Mason Taylor here.
So at that point, it's like, I think obviously like Jacobs, like I have higher than Pickens, but like they're close enough to the point where if you can move up, tier up to that 112, at that 112, maybe you get like
Harvey or Caleb Johnson or
like who knows, maybe with all the shit that's going on, Quinshon Judkins falls there. Obviously,
that's a good point. Yeah. And not to mention the tight, like, I mean, it's not a tight end premium, But you could always grab one of those tight ends, or maybe you're super high on like Golden might fall to you at 112 as well.
Yeah. That's just my thought there. If you can get younger but still get like an established offense to build or option to build around, I would rather do that than just, I mean, like pick it like Jalen Wright, he's fine, but like I don't know.
I mean, realistically, a handcuff.
He goes in the 170s.
Yeah, a handcuff is not really going to move the needle at all for anything.
Yeah.
Like it's George. You're just trading down for a worse asset in my mind. As much as I think George Pickens fits what you're trying to do, which is get younger and get a receiver and that kind of thing.
It's just like what can you sell Jalen Wright
straight up for an equally valued wide receiver instead of tacking on Jalen Wright instead?
It's just like George Pickens in a mid-third disguised into Jalen Wright. The only issue is then it's up to you to actually liquidate Jalen Wright into like a mid-third valuation, which how many people are just on the open market saying, yeah, sure, I'll trade you a third-round pick for Jalen Wright. It's like, in theory, he's worth a third, but in actuality, good luck trying to get a deal done specifically that is Jalen Wright for a third-round pick. Somebody would just rather say, well, why would I do this deal? I can just hold this third and maybe get somebody that steps into a 3-week workload. And maybe Jalen Wright at that point in season does have that opportunity. He's worth a late too, but at the same time, there's no reason for somebody to have to go through that extra effort to acquire him.
Yeah, I think something like this makes sense too, where you get the 205 for the 304. You get that trade up in the rookie draft, and then in this range, you're probably looking at maybe you catch a Jaden Higgins, maybe you catch a Luther Burden, or worst case scenario, you're grabbing Tootin or Scadaboo or something like that.
Yeah, I just think in terms of intention, that's what I would rather do with this deal. Like Jalen Wright just doesn't really do much for me.
Yeah, Jalen Wright's just a useless asset, realistically. Shaba James, for some reason, your super message isn't coming up. Maybe that you just wanted to shoot us $5.
Yeah, I mean, DM us if there's an issue.
Here, let me double check the my reviews page here and see if he left something, because there was nothing listed there. Shaba James. No, he didn't list anything there. So I guess appreciate the donation, I suppose, was what you sent. And we should be able to circle into the actual team reviews. And it looks like, I can't remember who was in the chat, JDL Gaming or whatever. It looks like they added a review as well. So we appreciate that.
Appreciate you.
Also, I just really quickly, I want to just look over that Ayuk trade that we got sent.
It was just like straight up Ayuk for free, no?
Yeah, I know. I'm just looking in the chat if he sent me anything, like he goofed or something. Okay, no, he didn't send me anything there, because we mentioned, we're like, it just says Ayuk. But anyways, let's talk about Idup, who's been waiting a little bit since he submitted his review. We sent him a voucher on the last live stream, and then he didn't get his review in time at the time there. But he said, this is my home Dynasty League going into year 4. Finished 12-2 as the number 1 seed last year, but lost in the semifinals. Decided to trade up for Genty in the offseason. He traded the 106, a mid-first, and his 2027.
That's a great price.
Second for 101, and you got the 109 back, which is like a nice return there.
That's what I'm going to say. It's like realistically, that 109 at least cancels off either the mid-first or the 2027 first, which, I mean, to be fair, I'd actually rather the 109 straight up than your own late 2027 one, assuming that your team matches what my team's analyzer points out right there, that it is confirmed stacked. Like, I would rather the 109 than either of those assets. So even if you wanted to cancel out those assets, then at that point, go back up, Corey.
Yeah, it looks like you got Judkins with the 109 by the looks of it too.
Go back up real quick though. So then at that point, it's just 106 plus your own 2027 one, which we think is going to be late, and a 2, which is going to be late for Genty.
Yeah, this is a great move. Absolutely a great move. Also in the chat, Shady Sands says it's Ayuk for Downs.
Give me Downs.
And he was receiving Downs, I believe, in the trade.
Appreciate you, Shady. Yeah, give me Downs for sure in that.
Yeah, I'll take Downs as well. As much as, I mean, it's like asking me to
more
choose
tradable asset.
Two children of mine with Ayuk and Downs. But yeah, it's like Danny just said, it's a more tradable asset. You got a young receiver everyone's excited about, as opposed to a guy coming off of a torn ACL. The downside risk, Ayuk losing value, definitely leans me towards Downs there. But looking at this team, I mean, there's not much you can do. I mean, you don't have any.
Go win the championship.
Go win the championship. You can't do anything else anyways, because you have nothing to trade away to go get stuff. I guess maybe if you're looking for some kind of piece of tangible advice here, is like maybe see if you can like upgrade into. I don't even know what to say. Like everything is ready to go.
Does Garrett Wilson plus TJ Hawkinson get you Trey McBride and like a smaller contending receiver?
Yeah, maybe getting an upgrade at tight. I tend to
check
think
the
that
McBride
TJ
team?
is just like a really good tight end to hold right now because I think his value might recorrect itself once he's producing.
I like TJ. It's just more so transitioning some of your wide receiver equity into a steady top 2 tight end asset. And maybe if you can cash in on a productive vet receiver, like I'm curious, go to the McBride team real quick. I'm assuming
this guy
there.
has McBride.
So he needs
he
like
could use
wide
receivers too.
I mean, McBride plus Adams for Garrett Wilson plus TJ Hawkinson. Maybe you add a little piece to make up the difference there. Let's plug it in the calculator right here.
Maybe you throw him Jordan Mason if he's excited about him or something.
Yeah, I'm just curious how it pops out. So McBride.
Yeah. I mean, he has Evans and Jennings and stuff too. It's not even just Adams. This guy's probably looking to compete, so I don't know if he would be totally into moving off of McBride. And he does have Addison already, so he might be like, I don't really want to trade for Hawkinson because I already have Jordan Addison. But I mean, you could go after this Bowers manager too. This guy is Loveland too, so he might be more interested, maybe even potentially moving off of one of them. I'm not exactly sure which one, but maybe you could go off and try and get all the way up to Bowers, or you could transition off of TJ for Loveland, knowing that you have Andrews to play in the short term. I don't mind playing it through Loveland and Andrews and having a better long-term option than Hawkinson.
So for the McBride one, by the way, it comes out as you slightly win on the McBride Adams side. So even if we added in like on the McBride deal specifically,
he doesn't have like you said, like so you'd have to add in like Jordan Mason or something like
Jordan Mason or like.
I mean, Mixon, maybe you get something back in return. Like maybe he gives you Jones back and you give him Mixon if he prefers Mixon or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Like I think that's a reasonable offer to try and make there.
Mixon is the one that stands out to me as a sell, just because I talked about him in the end is near video that he may have showed his cards as a guy that's falling off. So you could maybe try and cash out on him before he hits the wall. And what I would recommend doing, because in that video, I can't really get into nitty gritty specifics of how I would trade off of somebody because I don't have a team in front of me. But this specific team, if you have a team like this with Mixon on it, I mean, Mixon, first of all, isn't even going to hit your starting lineup given how good your team is. And second of all, you'd want a player that can hit your starting lineup in exchange for Mixon. So what I would ask you is, how much on top of Mixon do you have to pay to go get Derrick Henry? Or how much on top of Mixon do you have to pay to go and get somebody who's like a needle mover? Like, can you trade Mixon and Garrett Wilson to get a better receiver? Or can you trade Mixon plus Judkins to go get a better running back or something like that?
I think that's one way to approach it as well. Also, to revisit the Bowers idea, can we go down to see if he has any things? So Bowers, let's say we were making a deal there. You wanted to get a piece back. Unfortunately, it's like the cutoff of usable vet assets in his depth isn't really existent at running back and wide receiver. So it'd be tough to, because I was thinking some type of
QBs, and he only has Murray and Jackson. So you could tack on JJ and see if that's like a usable piece you can get back.
I just don't think you have the pick equity to get JJ McCarthy in a deal. That's going to be the issue there.
That's fair.
Like I was thinking some type of combination of London plus Hawkinson for Bowers, and then if you could get a vet back. The issue is there's just not a cheap enough vet on this team that can actually make a tangible production difference to tack on this deal, in my opinion. So Bowers probably off the table, but McBride deal plus, like you said, upgrading from Mixon, I think makes appropriate sense.
Yeah, Judkins and Mixon, if you could tier both of those guys into Bucky Irving or something, that would maybe make sense. Gets off of some of the risk of Judkins, off of some of the risk of Mixon. I mean, realistically, you could do nothing as well. Like, this team is very good and ready to compete. So I would say generally, because you have no picks, the only real guy that stands out to me as a tangible sell based on what I think of him in Dynasty and where his current market value is Joe Mixon. He's the only one, realistically. And maybe Jordan Mason, too, because he's getting some hype in the Minnesota Vikings streets there. So, moving into Scangg, his review here, he said he's a contender and he wants to know if he should trade for a running back. And he said try and get something for older Mixon, AJ Brown, Adams. Tried to shop, but no good offers. And he said also need to cut 4 players. So we could start with that. What players we would cut. I think that is his team. Yeah, he is in 4th in the My Team's Analyzer. Easy cuts for me are Eric All's not worth anything. I guess maybe you want to hang on to some of these rookies at the bottom of your roster because they're like mystery box kind of guys. I mean, I'm ready to give up on Kendre Miller and throw him to the waiver wire. I don't know about you.
So let me see what the questions were. In
four cuts is the first question.
Yeah, I mean, like realistically, also like Jalen Lane and Shamir DK mean nothing to me. Yeah, I mean, Kendre Miller, like, if I have to cut Raheem Sanders, I don't mind cutting Raheem Sanders there. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of ways to go about it. I mean, Will Howard, I don't think as much either.
Yeah, I'd rather hold Will Howard than Raheem Sanders, Jalen
Agreed.
Lane, Shamira DK,
Even Justice Hill and shit.
even Andre Yoshivash. I would rather have Will Howard than.
Yeah, I mean, I'd rather, even Justice Hill and shit.
Yeah, for sure. So his other questions were, should I try and trade for a running back? And I think he's basically asking, can I contend as well? Because he's like, it looks like he's kind of caught in limbo. Should I contend or should I sell off my aging assets?
I mean, I think you can definitely contend with this team. I would have to see what the other teams look like. That's the only issue that I have here.
This team looks like it's in pretty damn good shape at the top here.
Yeah.
This team looks like it's in pretty good shape, but it is a lot of young players. And then this team has some good foundations as well. Like this looks like the type of team I would build with Goddard, K. Dotton, and Fannin as the tight end core.
Yeah. No, let's go back to Scang's team. I think I would at least try to see what this team shows me. The only issue is if anything happens at running back, you're kind of fucked, especially from a value perspective. Like,
I'm less likely to buy than sell on this team is how I would put it. I would say shedding Mixon into a younger running back who can give me something in the long term may be the better move because, like, let's say you got Mixon off of this team and you got like an early to mid projected second in 2026 or something like that. Or you got a young running back that's worth about the same, like Byshell Tootin or something.
Yeah. I mean, like the other way you can go is fully committing to the retool and just saying, hey, fuck it. Like, realistically, Joe Mixon, you're off my team. Even if you want to get nitty and gritty, we can even go to like, can I get into Nico Collins into a younger wide receiver plus assets? Can I get Travis Hunter plus to make that transition down, retool my team a little bit younger in terms of the age demographic, also acquire some insulation? Like if you can get Nico Collins plus a 2 turned into Travis Hunter plus a 1, I think this team would make sense as well. AJ Brown, can you get like anywhere close to 2 1s? Maybe you have to add like a piece back to get up to like a 2 first valuation.
Harrison or something.
Transition to like a McConkey, transition to like a Harrison or a McMillan plus. Maybe in this league you can even get a little bit of insulation on that because I'm sure in more casual leagues the proven asset's going to be a little bit overvalued comparatively to maybe some of our leagues. Even like Devontae Adams. Hey, like can you attach Devontae Adams plus?
I mean, Mixon and Adams stick out like sore thumbs that a contender should be interested in both assets. So
yeah, one and a 2 for them combined, maybe.
Yeah, 1 and a 2 combined, or just get into one good piece. Like maybe Adams and Mixon gets you Xavier Worthy or something like that, where you're like, okay, I got 1 young receiver back for 2 aging assets here.
Like the other way to do it, it would be quite similar to the Devi trade that we made, where basically I gave you like a lot of number of assets, and obviously in a Devi best ball, you don't have to set your lineup, so having literally like 20 startable assets is more appealing in that format. But as you know, it's like I took like my Flowers, my Kittle, like a lot of my assets because I was a team that was trying to retool the demographic of my team, and I flipped it to you for Amarian Hampton, Travis Hunter, in that deal that we did.
Yeah, I think it was St. Brown, Alvin Kamara, Kittle, Jaden Reed, and Zay Flowers for Amarian Hampton, Travis Hunter.
So a lot of contending production firepower in one deal is going to be a lot more appetizing to somebody that's giving away a high priced asset.
Yeah, for sure. Because if I was a really heavy contending team and you offered me Devontae Adams, who goes in the 4th round or 3rd round of redraft leagues, and Joe Mixon, who goes in the 5th round of redraft leagues, I'm like, okay, that's startable production. And like when I look at your team, like for what it's worth, I look at it and I go, okay, Drake May, Justin Herbert, Daniel Jones, I feel like I can get by with that quarterback core. Trevion Henderson.
You have a punch. Like it's not like your team's dead in the water.
A knockout punch.
It's just correct, right? Like there's going to be teams that are going to have more strict production firepower, even though your team's in a good position long term.
It is half too, and Henderson loses a little bit of value in half, and guys like Mixon should fetch more on the open market at half as well. Yeah,
it's also a start 10 as well. So if you can dominate those picks, and then again we got a couple of really good classes coming upcoming. I mean, like this is a team where the majority of your needle movers are either young or can be transitioned into young assets and insulation, a la Nico Collins or an AJ Brown. Or, I mean, even if you want to get nitty and gritty and say, hey, I wanted to downgrade from Justin Herbert because I want to go JJ McCarthy and a 1 for Justin Herbert and a 2. Like, I think you can get that in most league formats.
Yeah, no, for sure. You kind of like, this is one of the hardest positions to be in Dynasty, is going, okay, yes, I can wait and see where I'm going to be at in week 4, week 5 or whatever. But by then you don't know what's going to happen, right? Like, what if Joe Mixon has a hamstring pull in week 4 and now all of a sudden he's untradeable and you could have sold him before the season?
Yeah. No, I agree.
That's why you kind of need to, like, when I'm in a position
he's
like
already
this,
in a walking boot.
Yeah, literally. When I'm in a position like this, I kind of want to act fast. And when everyone thinks they can contend, which is about this time of year because they're seeing training camp reports and hype and all this kind of shit about their players, I would probably be proactive as opposed to reactive with a team like this. And I'd be like, you know what? Maybe if things broke 100th percentile right for me, I could win this thing. But it's going to require Mixon to look like him 23-year-old self. And it's going to require Trevion Henderson to be the next Jahmyr Gibbs. For this to happen, I'd probably just be proactive and try and shed off Joe Mixon, Devontae Adams specifically, because they're the two guys that if they get hurt or something, they're untradeable and they might die on your roster if you don't get rid of them.
Yeah, no, I agree there. But overall thoughts, like you said, you have affordability, flexibility with this team. But if you can make those potential moves from those veterans to get that insulation plus that young production, like I said, would be good.
Yeah, this is also funny. Arthur said you should
I saw that too.
A type of monster called a league ender just to make people leave type of team. But yeah, any other questions he had? I think, yeah, he said tried to shop and no good offers. I mean, keep trying. I'd say the closer you get to the season, the easier it should be to sell off Devontae Adams and Joe Mixon types. As we get closer to week 1, people start paying attention to redraft rankings and realize that those guys are being highly thought after in redraft circles. Sure. Cultivated Pine, which is sounds like the name of someone's baseball bat who's in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, sorry.
Feel like his starters are solid, but he's weak at running back and depth. I have a ton of backup running backs that could be solid if given the chance, but I don't really rely on them to get an opportunity. Thoughts on trading a starter or two to get depth, but I'm interested in your overall opinions on the team. So Toe Drag Swag is the name of the team here. He's 4th in the My Team's analyzer. Obviously, CMC is the second you see CMC on someone's roster, you're like, okay, contending. Well, you're contending whether you like it or not.
Yeah,
because you have Christian McCaffrey, and if you don't think you can contend, you should get him the hell off of your roster immediately.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is a very clear contending team. If you guys want the reminder when we say a contender, sorry, I just want any excuse to pop this up on the screen. But
I've never seen anyone love something more than you love those bullshit Canva graphics that I made.
Where is it right now?
They're like the ugliest fucking graphics of all time, but you will literally whip out any excuse to bring them up like they're your firstborn son.
Hey, are we taking a long, hard look in the mirror? Like, are we contending here? Are you top 4 in production by in your league? I would say yes. You have Lamar Jackson. You have Christian McCaffrey. You have Jamar Chase, Brian Thomas Jr. You have contending assets. In a start 9 league, you have the needle movers to potentially take you over the top in any type of matchup. The next question. This is where you find yourself. Start doing your draft research. Guys that you like, guys that you don't like. Like, if you think, oh, shit, like, I think Jacoby Myers is overvalued in redraft this year. Go get somebody that you like a little bit better. Maybe you can move up Jacoby Myers plus a 2 to get Josh Downs plus a 3. Make that type of move. You know what I'm saying? Like, being aware and being intentional with your moves is going to get you from a contending phase to potentially, whether that's Tony Pollard, whether that's Tajay Spears, whether that's one of those other pieces at running back, getting this team where it needs to be, because I think we both agree running back 2 would be the weakness at this point.
Frankly, I think this team's a fraud.
You think it's a fraud?
Yeah, think about it, dude. It's a start 9. Other than Lamar in a 1 quarterback league, Baker doesn't matter at all. It's a 1 quarterback league. Lamar Jackson, Christian McCaffrey, Chase, Thomas, and maybe McMillan because he's a rookie.
Yeah,
and
who goes in the 5th round
and
right
TJ
now?
Hawkinson, like, you're 3 starters short.
What?
That's 6 players. It's a start 9.
Oh, it's a 1 quarterback league.
It's a 1 quarterback start 9. So that means it's probably a 3 wide receiver, 2 flex or whatever. Yeah. And you're starting Jacoby Myers, Tajay Spears, Tony Pollard. It's not, to me, it's not good enough to win.
But like, he's got the production pieces where if he can support them around, I do think he does have enough production to win. That's what makes it on the line for me.
If that's how you feel about the team, you should probably be selling your 26 picks and going to get
that's what I was going to allude to.
Like, go get a Josh Jacobs for your RB2. Go get you know what I mean? Like, you probably need to upgrade your starting lineup, because as of now, like, 3 of Pollard, Spears, Myers are starting every game for you, assuming you don't have any injuries.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a monster contender, but I definitely think it's on the verge of a contender. It's just the issue right now is like outside of Christian McCaffrey, everybody is young on your team. So theoretically, if you do approach it as a contender and you wait till in season to trade your picks, you kind of make the determination there. I don't think it's fair to call this team a fraud because it has every liquid asset to be able to tank if need be.
That's fair. Yeah, you still have all your picks and whatnot. And yes, Brock, we would be able to get to it if you submitted a team for review.
Because that's the thing you gotta take into consideration is if he did just completely say, "Hey, fuck these picks, I want to go get some contending pieces, and build my depth and build my," like a fraud would be if he had this but no picks to work with.
No, that's definitely fair. I guess it's not a full-fledged contending team at the moment. I would say you're probably a couple moves away from it. My thought process of why I think it may not be even worth it to do that is unless the production is going to come to you at like a reasonable price tag. Like if I go down to some of the lower rated teams in this league and you could go get DK Metcalf or you could go get
Calvin Ridley even.
McLaurin's on this guy's team. It doesn't really fit. You could go get, I mean, I'm not really a fan of
target one of these shit stained teams in season and just say, hey, like you're 0-3, you're probably wanting to tank. I'll give you a 2 and a 3. Give me 3 productive veterans or give me 2 productive veterans that are maybe worth like typically a 2 each. Like try to see if you can bundle 2 and say, hey, I'll give you a 2 and a 3. You're going to make this deal with me 80 cents on the dollar, but I'm getting 2 pieces off your team that you're trying to sell.
Yeah, I would say like going to a team like this after week 3, if he's not doing too well or whatever, and going, hey, if you're looking to rebuild, I'll give you my 1 and my 2 and my 2nd in 2027 or something for Josh Jacobs, Isaiah Pacheco, and Khalil Shakir.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's a reasonable move to try to make. Try to see if you can get that 80 cents on the dollar deal. If nobody's willing to budge, if nobody's willing to give you the depth that you need, maybe that's indicative of the market that you're working with, and you could be the one that gets ahead of the curve.
Yeah, the best way to gauge the market that you're working with is what does Christian McCaffrey get you? What is someone willing to give you?
If you can get like 2 1s for McCaffrey,
for Christian, there's no fucking way I'm trying to contend with this team.
That's the caveat. It's like if you can just say, hey, listen, like nobody in this league is using the Flock Fantasy my team's calculator. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody's actually plugging these trades in. Nobody's using any common sense.
Yeah, there'll be leagues where someone's like, I'll give you Trevion Henderson and a 2. Like people who aren't tuned into content will see Christian McCaffrey's name and they'll go, oh, I want Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, which I mean, you can take advantage if your league format is like
but again,
I think we're pretty consensus on this now,
everything hinging on Christian McCaffrey makes me scared. That's the thing that I'm worried about, because if Christian goes down in training camp with a hamstring pull or a low ankle sprain or something, there goes your trading window.
I mean, you can get proactive with the other pieces, but you also lose obviously the tradability. I just think this, to me, this team's not a fraud enough to get too proactive with it, because I do think you have a chance if your team starts off well. If McCaffrey's looking like his prime self, Chase is the wide receiver 1 in fantasy, BTJ's averaging 19.5 points per game yet again, Lamar Jackson's the quarterback 1 averaging 26 points per game. It's like I can tell myself a path where I would want to try to contend with this team.
Yeah, if this was like, I guess my thought process would be if Jacobs and Mike Evans were on this roster, in addition to you having all your picks, I'd be like, oh yeah, go get more hammers. It's just that I'm like, after you get the hammers, you're also now hoping that everyone on your team stays healthy.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you're just a little bit more worried because it's volatile.
Which I think the McMillan and Myers wide receiver 3 and 4 make me a little nervous. In addition to not having an RB2 and my RB1 being Christian.
You do also factor we're lower on Myers, but he is like a 7th or 8th round pick on Underdog, so it's not like he can't flex him. Like he's being valued.
I just don't think he should be going anywhere close to that.
Yeah. I mean, just keep in mind though, like, you disagree with the aspect of Jacoby Myers there. But like I said, if you do a move where that ends up turning into a Josh Downs, which the market's
I would feel differently about,
that's what I'm pointing out. I think the micro player
swap him straight for Jaden Reed, I'd feel better about this team right now.
Exactly. I think it's more so like the micro player take aspect of seeing Jacoby Myers instead of an asset that we like better is also skewing it a little bit.
Yeah, Loud, we have not officially announced this yet, but you will not, unfortunately, get our draft guide for the Underdog code. That was a promo that we were allowed to run for a limited time, but you will get our draft guide via flockfantasy.com. But yeah, I assume most people probably already used our Underdog code anyways, so a lot of people probably transitioning over to the site. to get our draft guides. And also the benefit too is like when you used our underdog code, you only got our draft guide. And now you're going to get the draft guides of all the other creators as well by getting it on the site. And two, we haven't announced it yet, but we will announce something that is specific to redraft players who are starting to come back to the scene. And it'll be basically a redraft package of the site. That's a little bit different than the current package offerings, about a halfway between price point of a monthly versus an annual and that kind of thing. So anything else on this team other than I guess we kind of somewhat, it's weird because usually I'm the guy that's trying to contend and you're the one that's like, rebuild. Yeah. But for me, I'm like, I'm worried about this one. I would see what Christian gets me on the open market.
Yeah, no, I think that's reasonable. But overall,
same with Pollard too, because he was also in that video of the end is near. And I'd be like, if I could shed Christian and Pollard and walk away with a couple ones, like a 1 and a 2 or one and 2 2s or something.
I guess the other factor too is like if your team's not winning right away, you could see if McCaffrey's giving you production, which he probably will be regardless. And then at that point, you could always sell Pollard and McCaffrey because theoretically their best projection of the 17
would be the first couple weeks.
Would be the first few weeks. So if you at that point, because keep in mind, I also think if you do decide to retool this thing, it doesn't have to be a hard retool because the majority of your assets are still young to the point where if you say, hey, Myers, hey, Pollard, hey, McCaffrey, you guys are off the team, but I'm going to be adding 2 1s and a 2 of liquidity and retooling to compete again next year. I think this is definitely a team I can turn around and see, hey, they can be a contender again by 2026 because they have the liquidity to be able to add in the offseason if need be. Like at that point, you want to add a hammer running back because you have an extra 1, an extra 2 to play with, and you want to throw 2 1s plus a piece at like Devon H. And it's like that's a little bit more sustainable than just hinging 1 year on McCaffrey right now.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Nemesis, I would say generally it'll probably be around the 1st of August, I think is what the aim is supposed to be, but we should have an announcement for you at some point this week, I would say. So just stay tuned for that. Cultivated Pine, appreciate the team review that you sent us there. And then we are going to be talking about Zach's team here. One of the top teams in the league, but quarterback RB killed me last year. Just not sure what to do or where to go with this team. Any advice would be great. Thank you in advance. Love the channel. Been around since the early days. Yeah, I absolutely remember you being around since the early days. So this is a team, and he said RB killed him, obviously. Chase Brown not being that one of those guys, but the rest of his running back core not in the best shape. I mean, this is the type of team that is tough because I think someone who wants to just go win would probably be like, hey, I should just sell my 1 and my 2 for Josh Jacobs and, whoever else I can get. But the quarterbacks scare me a little bit. Like you look at this receiver core and you're like, oh, ready to win. Tight end core, ready to win. Like nothing I can really say about that. Like you're good to go there. One thing I might do with a team like this is try and transition some of my young liquidity into production. Specifically,
you have so many damn wide receivers.
Yeah, you have Odunze and Golden specifically, like
DJ Moore.
Yeah, and DJ Moore too. But specifically Odunze and Golden because they're young. A young contending, rebuilding team would be interested in players like that. Like, what kind of running back does Rome Odunze fetch you on the market? What kind of running back does Matthew Golden, DJ Moore, some of these guys fetch you on the market? And same goes for the QBs too, because Lawrence and Young is like a little bit of a risky bet for me to go into a contending window with just those 2 guys.
Can you take Young plus and transition up into like a top 10 level quarterback? Like, can you take Young plus and turn it into Patrick Mahomes right now? Can you take Young plus and turn it into like maybe you don't even want to go up to that? This guy is
Murray. Like you could buy low on Kyler potentially. With
that won't even cost plus. That'll cost.
And this guy might be looking to kind of pivot him away from a contending team into a rebuild or whatever. Going after Murray using Bryce would make sense. The difficult thing about Bryce is that you have to find someone that believes in Bryce because otherwise you're not going to get really what his range of outcomes would dictate. I mean, you're probably not going to get up to Henry or to Hurts with that guy. You probably won't get up to May or Nix, but you could definitely try because this guy This guy's got a young receiver core. Absolutely would be interested in Odunze. Like, would Bryce Young plus Odunze get you up to Drake May or Bo Nix? Like, it's possible.
I mean, try it. You may as well. You may as well see if you can get anywhere closer.
D-Rob, too, that he could just throw you back for some running back production.
Yeah, I mean, play with it. Obviously, play with the offerings. Obviously, you have access to the calculator, so just kind of punch some stuff in. But that's definitely the direction I would go. Not to mention, if you go back up there, if you can transition 1 or 2 wide receivers into 1 or 2 running backs, and then use your picks to then add on to Bryce Young to go get a quarterback upgrade, I'd feel comfortable doing that if I'm forced to. But also, like obviously, the option that we were talking about, if we can transition through 2 or 3 of those wide receiver valuations and spread it across the asset value of this team, it's going to be better suited for you because obviously your wide receivers are ready to win. You just need to match up the running back and quarterback positions to it.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I just thought I saw someone is retiring from the NFL,
disconnect?
And it was just Phillip Rivers.
Wait, what?
Like, didn't he not retire like 3 years ago?
Bruh. That boy.
Arthur said, can y'all review redraft teams? I mean, we can if you have redraft teams already drafted. I couldn't imagine anybody's drafted a redraft team yet, but
yeah, I mean, we could do that.
Yeah, I mean, Zach, the path, like you said, or like we said, is pretty obvious at this moment. Is take your wide receiver liquidity and turn it into running backs where possible. Like this team too, like I'm not exactly sure where a team like this would be at, but pivoting off of Bryce into Brock Purdy and maybe trying to tag on like a Pacheco or even getting a little bit more expensive and going after JT or something wouldn't be the
like what are you saying? Like Bryce Young plus Roma Dunze for Brock Purdy and Isaiah Pacheco?
Yeah, I mean, I would rather do that for Golden maybe instead or more.
If you could do that, I would rather
DJ Moore 2 and Bryce Young for Brock Purdy and Isaiah Pacheco maybe would make some sense. Maybe he doesn't do that. Maybe he's huge on Purdy. We're kind of just spitballing off the top of our heads right now.
Maybe go to somebody with an urgent need at wide receiver. That's probably your best bet. Like who's the number?
Yeah, let's see if we can find a team that has
like the guy with Jameson Williams. Go down there.
Yeah, I mean we talked about his team already, obviously, but I mean, his team is like just directionless, and I don't know exactly what the hell he's thinking. But
he doesn't know what he's doing.
Derrick Henry, he wants to sell Derrick Henry or Kamara to you. You could definitely offer him some of those young receivers.
Can we see tight end U? Does he have any?
Tight end U? Yeah, this was the team we talked about already. This guy's going to be a good bet for you, like for sure.
I mistook the team name, so my bad.
This guy, like what? Let's see if we can craft a package around Nix and Henderson. Let's see if we can get Nix and Henderson from this guy using what he has.
Nix and Henderson. So we go back up here. Obviously, Bryce Young has to be in it.
26-1's probably got to be in it too.
So Nix and Henderson, Bryce Young, Roma Dunze,
and a 26-1.
Actually, I don't want to give up a Dunze, but I'm probably going to have to.
I think you're going to have to. I think Bryce Odunze and a 26-1 for Trevion and Nix makes sense.
I don't even think I think you have to add more. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I think you're gonna have to add a DJ Moore on top. Like I think you're
gonna have to literally add more.
Yeah, you're gonna have to literally add more.
Or you could add the 2 and maybe another young piece that he's interested in. Charbonnet or something.
Can you get away with Bryce Young, Matthew Golden, DJ Moore, a first round pick for Henderson and Nix?
Maybe. Yeah. I mean, like the guy.
That's a complete consolidation.
DJ doesn't really fit the build. That's the only thing. He might be more interested in Odunze because he's a young receiver and he's collecting young receivers at the moment. But he also has Burden too. So like maybe he's not interested in any Bears wide receivers and maybe he'd be more interested in Bryce Young, Golden, and a 1 or something like that, plus a 2 or Charbonnet or something for Bo Nix. And maybe, and also you don't know how he views Drake May and Bo Nix too, because me and you clearly view a difference between Drake May and Bo Nix.
All your
Some people don't. Some people go, well, Bo Nix was a top 8 quarterback in fantasy last year.
I would add all your picks on top of that if it gets you Drake May. I'll tell you that.
But like, think about it. Like the conventional wisdom would say Bo Nix was the top 8 fantasy quarterback. Maybe
you're
more
not wrong.
expensive than Drake May.
You're not wrong. Like, I can see the casuals really believing in that.
Yeah, Gritty on Your Grave is a hilarious name. Getting Chuba Hubbard from this guy would probably not cost you a shit ton. And you mentioned Mahomes too. Maybe you can do a Mahomes and Chuba type of deal there.
Sorry, I just saw this. You got Loveland for 2 seconds in Fannin. Wow, that's a smash.
Clean, dude. Clean.
Sorry, ask me again. My apologies. I just saw that.
I said you mentioned Mahomes earlier in this. Mahomes and Chuba, we could craft a quick offer around using Bryce Young.
Mahomes and Chuba.
I mean, I would pay Bryce 26-1 and no Dunze for Mahomes and Chuba easily.
Yeah, comfortably.
I mean, you probably have to give up more than that. I'm just saying it's the basis of the offer and get it started.
Yeah, I mean, like realistically, just keep adding tangible assets until you get them. Like that's really it. Like,
yeah, it's not that I don't believe in Bryce Young too. It's more that I just like want. I don't want Lawrence and Bryce Young.
You don't want to absorb that risk. It's like realistically, if you're going to take one risk, your team's in a position where if you transition some assets, you can easily contend this year. You're the number 1 team in terms of the valuation. Now at this point, how do we translate valuation into contender production value? You have to just be creative with your roster. I do this all the time with my rosters. I mean, you've seen me in leagues trading a bunch of asset value into comparable asset value, but getting more production upside for teams that are ready to try to win.
Yeah, and like the other thing we didn't mention that you could do is trade Ladd McConkey straight up for, Amari and Hampton or something. Like you could also just trade one of your stud receivers and use that depth on your own team to make up for it. Like, does Justin Jefferson get you Bijan Robinson or something? You know what I mean? Like you
get a plus, but
I mean, I have Bijan ranked straight up over Justin Jefferson, so I'm totally fine making that move. But you know what I mean? Like if you want, you could also go big and really swing for a top end running back using one of your top receivers.
Yeah, you could do that. Overall, though, you got to definitely transition some massive value on the team. Obviously, you're overloaded at wide receiver right now. You transition that plus maybe some picks. Go win with this team. Your team's ready to compete, obviously. Get off of some of that quarterback uncertainty, get an established option. We want some hammers, and this team has all of them at wide receiver. We just need to transfer them over.
Yeah, ideally, DJ Moore and Golden are off this team into running back and quarterback upgrades, and you lose your 26-1 in the process, and you walk away with a QB upgrade and a running back upgrade, and you're on your merry way, still having Neighbors, Jefferson, Ladd, Odunze, and Waddle or whatever as your top receivers. So moving into YWL here, we have a startup earlier this offseason, so you can see obviously very close in terms of everyone's value. Traded Chase and Bowers afterwards.
Traded for Chase and Bowers. Okay,
traded for Chase and Bowers afterwards. Okay, so sorry. Direction moves. Okay, so he is fourth in the analyzer, which it feels like.
Also, wait, go back up. Go back up real quick. Is that a wild Dylan at 9?
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, you're right.
Shout out Dylan.
Yeah, it is a wild Dylan at 9. So the team coming out of the startup, gearing towards the younger side with Caleb Johnson, some of the young running backs, Cam Ward is a young quarterback. You also have J-Mo and Luther and those type of guys, young wide receivers, Bowers and Chase, your pillars, obviously. Same with Jaden Daniels. I mean, this is very clearly you went after hammers with the trades that you made after the draft. Like, I don't know what your team looked like after the startup, but you clearly took some of your depth, I would imagine, and turned it into Chase and Bowers.
I think that's the thing. It's like you don't have obviously your 2027 one that was definitely included in that deal. Obviously, I love Bowers. I love Chase. So like, even if you just said, hey, I got those two guys I'm building around plus Jaden Daniels, it's like that's a 3 stack you're going to have on your team for the next 10 years. I mean, hopefully, obviously, your league lasts that long, but maybe Jamar Chase, not 10 years, but Brock Bowers and Jaden Daniels, absolutely, I believe 10 plus years is what you're looking at for their projections. Not to mention Jamar Chase, you're going to have the affordability. Like, hey, can I get Malik Neighbors plus a down tier or well, I mean, actually for you, it's remaining in tier, but for me, it'd be like going from like 1 to number 4, maybe a pocket like a second. Like you have the affordability with the Jamar Chase asset to move down, get younger, and get some more insulation here. You have 3 permanents on this roster. The issue is in a start 11, depth does matter. So I am curious, without that 2027 one, like what is your access to more production on this team? Because right now you're entering a contending potential window, given the fact that you traded your own 2027 one. You want that to be a contending pick. You don't want that to be the 105 when we're all said and done after the 2027 season. So therefore, you're automatically putting yourself in a contending window. At that point, though, Javonte Williams, RB2, a little bit shaky wide receiver depth. Obviously, you're loaded in terms of wide receiver 1, quarterback 1, and tight end 1. But the issues across the roster after that are a little bit unsettling, knowing that you've committed in a startup capacity.
Yeah, it's a start 11 and you don't have your 27-1. So you look at this and you go, okay, what I would tell you if you did have your 27-1 be very easy. I'd be like, hey, come in season, Javonte's playing well, I'd sell him. I'm in season, Cedric Tillman's bouncing back, I'd probably sell him. But like, you don't have your 27 first. So you're kind of forced and pigeonholed into retooling in 1 year. Because in 2027, unless you go get your own first back, which you probably won't, because you probably traded it for Chase or Bowers or whatever, you're basically going to have to forcefully rebuild this team in 1 year. And like you said, the only way that you're going to be able to do that is by hitting on pretty much every pick that you made in the startup, or at least a lot of the picks you made in the startup, and hitting on a lot of your rookie picks next year, which is definitely possible. But anytime you have opportunities to maybe cash out for some stuff, like let's say, for example, Kyle Pitts catches 3 touchdowns the first 2 weeks of the year. You already have Brock Bowers and Mason Taylor. Somebody for
you can liquidate, trim the fat.
Yeah, trim the fat. Like guys that pop up out of nowhere as like great waiver ads, or, you know, for whatever reason, they're producing a nice bundle of production or whatever. It's like Demario Douglas for some reason has like 11 targets in week 1 and someone gives you a 27-2 for him because they're just stunned. Like obviously take advantage of windows like that. You're going to need to be active with rosters, especially out of a startup when no one has a definitive edge over each other. You kind of do need to be that person kind of grinding the phone lines and coming up with ways to generate value, because there is no way of generating value aside from the current roster that you've built. basically, or until the next year's rookie draft if you've collected more assets.
That's really where it's at. Again, it's yet to be seen. Like, you're gonna know right away. Like, for example, some of like the fringe picks, like is Javonte Williams. You're gonna know right away if he's gonna be able to hit, at least in terms of early season production. You're gonna know right away if Luther Burden's ready to be an instant impact player based off his week 1, week 2 snaps. Maybe by then you'll know, can I get production from him in the first few weeks of the year, or is he more so going to be a guy that I'm looking for the week 1 to 11, week 11 to 17 split, like after the season? Like, is he that type of guy, or is he somebody I can rely upon in my flex? Same thing with Cedric Tillman. Is he going to be able to get back to that level he was pre-concussion? Demario Douglas, you kind of just made the case for. Elijah Moore. Oh, shoot. Khalil Shakir got hurt. Now Elijah Moore played 73% of the snaps out of the slot in week 1. Like, those are the things you're going to have to take advantage of. Because quite frankly, you will have to build out your depth value, because you did give up a lot of it in those 2 deals.
Yeah, and then like worst case scenario, like you said, you have 3 stable assets that you absolutely could tear down from, but we want to avoid doing that because it's hard to find guys like Daniels, Chase, and Bowers.
But like, tear down in the sense, like, I don't, for example, if you're tearing down from Jamar Chase, I'm not saying like, oh, you're gonna go from Jamar Chase and you're gonna go all the way down to like Emeka Egbuka plus 2 ones. It's like, I like that. I think it's probably a fair offer, and like in the grand scheme of things. But for me, it would be more so like, if I'm moving down from Jamar Chase, can I get Brian Thomas Jr. in a 1? Like, that's the type of move
where it's like you because the tough thing about having teams where you have holes and you don't have ways to patch said holes is it becomes difficult to build a contending roster without tearing down from elite assets. And obviously, there's going to be people in your league that are, after the first year, built up enough liquidity because they drafted well, or because they, traded back in the startup or whatever, and they're going to be seeking to buy assets like the ones that you have, like Chase and Bowers. But hopefully it doesn't come to that point. Hopefully you're just able to rebuild this thing naturally, and you don't have to sell off Jamar Chase because you have no other option or whatever. You don't want to be doing that.
That would be the way I would, is like, okay, like the guy who has Brian Thomas Jr. wants to maybe take that next step up. Can I pocket his 2026 or 2027 one to build back up some type of pick bank while still getting a wide receiver at 22 years old? Like, even though obviously he has now Travis Hunter to compete with, I've made these comps so many times. We've seen elite wide receiver duos in the NFL. Heck, we had 2 top 5 wide receivers from the Cincinnati Bengals in 2024 points per game. So realistically, it's like, can Brian Thomas Jr. get up to that 1,500, 1,600 yard, 12, 13 touchdown level where he's a top 3 dynasty wide receiver this time next year? Obviously, because he's being valued as such on the redraft market. And you froze.
Yeah, it's funny. I was in our draft guide, we have the risk ratings, and I wrote like little notes in the risk ratings. And the note I wrote for Jamar Chase was the Bengals are going to have a supernova caliber season at some point where Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and T. Higgins are all elite assets at their position. And it's only a matter of time, and it could be 2024. That's literally what I wrote in Jamar Chase's thing. And like you just said, Burrow was a top 5 quarterback, and Higgins and Chase were both top 5 wide receivers. And they hit that supernova season, because in the previous couple of years, it was like, oh, why does Chase have a shoulder injury and Higgins has a hamstring pull and Burrow has a, Tommy Johns or whatever he was dealing with. Like, we just had this bullshit string of injuries with these guys, and it's good that we got that monster season out of the Bengals. But yeah, you're gonna have some work to do. Like we said, we could probably let me go up to the top here. Direction moves. Yeah, I mean, like we said, trim the fat when it's possible. You're probably gonna have a hard time competing this year. I wouldn't be opposed to even like Caleb Johnson. I like, but as a 3rd round pick, I'm not opposed to, if he gets out to a hot start, seeing how quickly he rises up the dynasty market and seeing if you can cash out for a lot of draft capital too.
Yeah, no, for sure. Overall, though, if you can recoup some value, like, just find some little creative opportunities if you can. But we'll move on to JBL's team. Also, a couple things in chat. K Money, we do have that link to you if you do want to submit a team. Feel free. And looks like AJ is probably in the process of doing so. So shout out AJ. Would it be a best ball? Sorry, I am wiped. It wouldn't be a best ball. It's not even a best ball stream, dude. Corey, help me.
Also, why are you wiped, dude? I'm the one who put up the video today.
No, I know. It wouldn't be a review stream without us jabbering on and either an AJ or an Arthur review.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Speaking of AJ, because he just joined the thing here, I just wanted to throw this meetup. Sorry, we got the meetup details officially from AJ or from AJ. AJ's coming to the meetup. We got the Flock meetup details officially from Mason. So I just wanted to show up the graphic here that Mason sent us. So Flock League meetup. Sorry. The details, you guys can see the actual venue that we're going to be going to, and all of us are going to be present there. All the little graphics that you see. This is a first look at some of the other stuff that we're going to have going on in the league. And yeah, it is going to be 4:30 to 8:30 p.m. on the Sunday. That is August 17th there. So that is for AJ and those people who want to attend that. But anyways, JBLD 17 just did our startup. So another post startup one that we have here. Superflex start 9, traded my 2026 first and 11th rounder for his 310. I think that's a pretty decent value return. During the draft, got Hampton there. So, I mean, 11th round startup pick, you're probably talking in the I don't know, who goes in the 11th round? Probably wide receiver 50-ish range, I would imagine, give or take. Yeah. And then he also traded a 27 first and Dak for Bryce Young, Caleb Johnson in the second.
Let's look at the team before I make my thought on that. So obviously very, very top end team here. Running back production.
Come out of a startup with a team this good is pretty impressive.
Yeah. You already had traded your 2026 one, so you're basically in the grand scheme of things saying, I mean, Caleb Johnson, if I can guarantee you that pick was between 110 and 112 in 2027, that would probably about wash out for you.
Not for me, not a chance. I would rather have a pick. I'd rather have a mid to late projected first in 27 than Caleb Johnson.
It's just the theory that he's going in that 110 to 202 range.
If I knew it was going to be 110, 111, 112, maybe, but there's always the opportunity that it's not that.
Sure. Respectfully, though, with this team, do you see an opportunity where that pick isn't going to be at the very least at, we'll say, the 108 or worse or better?
Let me ask you.
I don't think this team doesn't make the playoffs in
Caleb Johnson was my 201 in my rankings. Would you trade the 20? Would you trade for the 201 using a projected late 2027 first? Because I would not.
Depends on the context of the team. That's what I'm pointing out right now.
Yeah, but I know
that's what I'm asking you. Realistically, that's about fair on market value.
I would rather have traded for a player who is going to help me right away.
Well, see, that's the difference in the projections.
Obviously, if Caleb Johnson hits, he's going to definitely recoup that value. And then some, he'll be worth a mid-first by the midpoint of his rookie season or whatever. But given that you're kind of all in, Judkins and Caleb Johnson don't necessarily fit this team build. Where it's like, yes, you have Hampton and you have Judkins and you have Caleb Johnson. They're all young running backs. And hypothetically, you're getting them in their primes, rookie season, second season, third season, fourth season. That's when running backs are going to produce the most. I wouldn't mind having one more guy that's maybe in his prime, like Hampton. If you could upgrade from Hampton to one of the top 3 to 4 guys, that would maybe make some sense.
I guess the factor for him here is the guy preferred Dak as his starting quarterback, which again, we both prefer Dak, especially in a contending lens to Bryce Young.
They're a wash for me, but a contending window, I'd prefer Dak.
I would need at least a second to maneuver between them, but that's besides the point. At that point, though, Caleb Williams and Jordan Love are going to profile to be your starting quarterbacks. You downgrade your quarterback 3, which I always advocate for. If you have 2 starting quarterbacks, you could downgrade quarterback 3. Realistically, you're getting 2 weeks of utility on a grand scheme of things in an ideal world. And if you're getting more than 2 weeks of them entering your lineup, that just quite frankly means your quarterback core isn't set. So if you have to cycle between 3 quarterbacks, realistically, you're probably looking at all 3 options being in that 12 to 20 range. Whereas for me in Dynasty, I would rather have a situation where I'm comfortable having a Caleb Williams and Jordan Love starting 95% of my games this year. So at that point, quarterback 3 does render to be a lot less more important than, let's just say, if your quarterback core is Bryce Young, JJ McCarthy, and Matthew Stafford, then it's a lot more of a contentious quarterback start sit decision every week. This situation, Caleb Williams and Jordan Love, like I said, are going to be in your lineup the majority of the time. So if you can take Dak Prescott, you can down tier 2 of Bryce Young, still maintain the asset liquidity in terms of the open market, and pocket a usable running back. Again, I guess my question here would be, did you really need the usable running back? Was it the wise decision to break up your one right now? Because I do think it's fair, like what you pointed out, on the grand scheme of things, the only way I'd feel comfortable setting a late 2027 one for Caleb Johnson would it be in the scenario that it's 111 or 112. That's why I was asking you that question.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, because you obviously Bryce Young in a second equals out for Dak for you. I guess my thing is I think that the 27 first in Dak is maybe the slightly better side of that deal. And I'm actually someone who prefers the like I prefer Bryce Young to Dak slightly, but it would be a wash in my rankings. Like, so even me as the lower on Dak and higher on Bryce person, it's basically a wash for me. It's just that 27 first to me is a valuable asset.
After your quarterback research, though, for production this year, maybe you switch their rankings.
I mean, I like both of them, to be honest. It has nothing to. Of course, I love Dak for quarterback research rankings purposes this year, but also Bryce came out pretty decent in that as well. My thing would have been if you were going to trade Prescott in this situation and trade a 27 first,
which also the intention was very clear. The intention was very clear. This guy wanted a quarterback 2 upgrade, by the way, just seeing on the contract.
No, I know that, but I'm saying you were trying to, I guess, and maybe he wants to compete. He doesn't want to give you Bijan Robinson for him.
That's the other factor is it takes somebody wanting to trade away Bijan. And
and you have to pry, like from my perspective, you'd have to pry him from my cold dead hands. So, yeah, I get it. I guess my thought process is there's Chasing Breaker says it in the chat here. He said this team could be really good, but it's young and there's a lot of room for variance. That's kind of how I feel about this team as well. Fair. Where it's like, the wide receiver core, even though there's some variance there, I feel generally okay with it. Yeah. Tight end core, yes. I love the way that you've built that. I wouldn't change a damn thing, but I love those 2 sleepers. I love Loveland and I love Ertz in the meantime if you have to start them for the first couple of games. Running back wise is the part that I would maybe try and pivot off of some of that variance, whether it's pivoting Judkins into Jonathan Taylor or pivoting
that's the issue,
Caleb Johnson. It's tough because Judkins is not worth as much as he should be right now.
Not favor you right now because Quinshon Judkins ain't netting you Jonathan Taylor, even though we both think he's in that tier. Just on the basis that there's negative news around him, somebody will just say, "Well, Jonathan Taylor goes in the 2nd round. Why would I trade the bird in the hand versus one in the bush?" Just, you know what I mean? Like, people are gonna make that right now, even though we both clearly know, like, if Judkins becomes Jonathan Taylor, but he's 22 years old, that's just inherently more valuable in the market. But we got to think how the market's currently in.
Well, and I would actually prefer Jonathan Taylor at this moment in time too.
Yeah, well, it's because of the arrest stuff.
Totally for sure. But even I've gotten higher on Jonathan Taylor, dude. I have Jonathan Taylor as my 20th overall player in redraft right now. Like I've gotten a lot higher on Jonathan Taylor than I was at the beginning of the offseason.
27 for me, and on top of that, like I said, I mean, like I believe in Caleb Johnson more than you do. So that's just the difference here.
We're nitpicking a really good team for what it's worth. Like we're looking at this and going, oh my God, like this is some variance and shit. I guess the part that scares me the most is that you don't have pick liquidity to fall back on. You do. You have some seconds and thirds and shit. But normally when you have a team like this, it's like, oh, okay, if things don't work out, it's fine. It's like, well, things kind of have to work out because you don't have your own picks.
Yeah, no, for sure.
And also too, like if Caleb Johnson and Judkins don't ever become studs, then you just lose those assets basically. Like
that can apply to anybody though.
No, of course. But like, I'm just saying, like, if you had your picks, at least you would then benefit that your picks become higher and shit.
Fair.
Yeah, nitpicking is why we pay, Arthur says. Absolutely. But yeah, I mean, generally speaking, this is a really solid team, well constructed. I actually would tend to say that in a start 9 PPR, I would even be okay pivoting one of your running back assets, Judkins or Caleb Johnson, if you're able to get a decent window on them.
That's the other thing.
Another wide receiver.
You got to also think too, like maybe in the context of this league, Caleb Johnson's easily worth the first.
Maybe, yeah. Like, and if that's the case, like to be honest with you, I would trade Caleb Johnson for whatever receiver you can best net for Caleb Johnson. Whether it's like you're not going to get up to like Ibuka,
at that
Worthy
point,
or those guys, but maybe you can get into the territory of those like Odunze.
I got a better option. Guys. 10 teams start 9. Hey, listen, Josh Downs, Quinshon Judkins, thank you for your services. Can I go up there and get a, I mean, you have an Omar Hampton, but Devon Achane or someone like that?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, we're going to get to yours, AJ. We'll have yours in a second here.
Yep.
Yeah, no, there's definitely some interest. This is a, I would say this is a living on the edge team. This is a risky team.
Living on a prayer, maybe.
This one, but this is definitely, definitely could be an absolute horse if things break right for you, though.
You're living on a prayer, but we're halfway there.
Yeah, that is the worst joke Danny's ever made, and he's made some fucking bad ones. So.
No, you can't even cap. That was low-key a little bit of a bar. That was
there's no fucking shot.
I think chat will think that's a bar.
Chat, tell Danny he's fucking insane.
Chat will think that's a bar. Trust.
He goes, "Oh, we're halfway there. Am I right? Like that's a bar."
You didn't even hear the rhyme. You were half paying attention.
I knew the rhyme, dude. I've heard a fucking Bon Jovi song before.
Arthur knows small.
No Bon Jovi bars. Yeah, exactly. Speaking of, thanks, fellas. It's a brand new start. Okay, I'm getting bars in the chat. If anybody wants a recommendation, by the way, I started watching the Led Zeppelin doc. It is so fucking good. on Netflix. If you guys are old school music fans, also give me an unk in the chat because I'm talking about fucking 70s band right now. But cultured people know that they're probably one of the best of all time and host definitely the best drummer of all time.
Dude, I've been talking about I've talked about the Beatles on live stream before. I think I'm a little bit more unk there, you know?
Yeah, I mean,
in
the
that one
Beatles are just
capacity.
like basic fucking people band. I've
Is
never.
it Led Zeppelin? What?
No, I mean, Led Zeppelin's basic too, but not as much as the Beatles.
I mean, like, basic is basic, bruh.
Not really. There's certain people are more basic than others.
I don't know, bro. You're trying to sound hipster.
I mean, Mason being like his favorite artist, being like
No, that's
Drake,
basic. That
Drake
is
and
basic.
Justin Bieber and like every popular artist that's
No,
ever
no.
existed.
When I had to hear the Uber ride, Mason tell me, well, objectively, the Drake is the best rapper of all time. It's like, first of all, like you said, objectively, in the most fucking personal topic ever in regards to music taste. There is no objectively in music.
I'm fairly certain that he did not say that because I actually remember Mason saying that there's no such thing as objectively in music. I remember him saying that exact sentence.
I don't remember that.
But yes, this is the correct take as far as, you know, subjective music opinions go. 70s music is the best. Is also my shared opinion.
I don't know, Mason, if you're in here, please enlighten us because I swear that's what I remember.
This is a wild take. This sounds like my dad would say this. For what it's worth, my dad also would prefer the Foo Fighters over the Beatles as well. The Beatles are great, man, but you can't disagree that they are literally the most objective.
The most well-known,
the most objectively well-known band of all time, and they're the most basic as a result.
Well, yeah, it's like if somebody said, "Hey, like my favorite artist of all time is Michael Jackson." That's like, yeah, no, cool. That's
little guns ref in the chat.
Oh yeah.
Great song. Okay, let's get into AJ's team review here because we're going off on a tangent just in time for AJ.
Would have made me think that it was Arthur's team right now.
Yeah, no kidding. Is this going to reload for me? I guess it's just going to do the thing. I need to fucking wring out Joe by the neck. Because
I know, bro.
Every single time I'm doing team reviews, there's some kind of issue. And then Mason goes, I never have issues. I'm like, yeah, because you pay them. That's why. You're the one who pays the bills for them. That's why.
There'll be a couple times I'm like, hey, yo, my rankings need to be fixed on the site. And Joe's like, okay, I'll get to it this evening. And then I'll message him a week later and be like, dude, like they're not fixed. He's like, oh, my bad.
Yeah, I say wring out Joe by the neck like he wouldn't beat the shit out of me too.
Joe's a G. No, Joe single-handedly getting Mason a Derrick Henry share last year was comedy.
That was funny. I mean, imagine being so against a really good Hall of Fame running back.
Well, it goes back to your theory with your uncle. It's like, just take the good player that is going to get a ton of touches sometimes.
Yeah. You know? Oh, that's an unk theory for sure.
The unk theory.
Oh, Arthur also submitted a team review, which is fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
I noticed the network has collectively abandoned the mock draft tool. I think they've been pumping out.
They've been tinkering with it on the back end.
They've been pumping out updates for it for so long that they might have gotten sick of it. And there was also like a little bit of a dead period where there was less users on it. But now that the redraft season's starting to kick up, I know Mason's on their ass about making sure that people can use it for redraft. Because for me, doing mock drafts is less valuable for dynasty purposes because I'm trading all the time, as opposed to in redraft, I do kind of want as sharp of ADP as I possibly can get there. Yeah. And for rookie drafts, it was definitely buggy. The goal was to not have it buggy for rookie drafts because that was also definitely a valuable tool of the mock draft tool was doing rookie mock drafts. But it was definitely buggy back then.
I'm sorry, by the way, did you see the video on Instagram of Jamar Chase dancing with his new girlfriend or whatever? It went viral.
Oh God. Yeah, I did see that. And Jamar Chase quietly, remember when he was like Quinshon Judkins level knucklehead for like 2 weeks, his rookie
you remember when he couldn't catch a football and there was like that whole like spiel on Instagram of him and an ex that like people were like, yo, he's dropping down my draft board, he's not even gonna play this year.
Oh yeah, no, dude, there was big panic on Jamar Chase. I don't know if we're gonna see that. I mean, maybe we will see it again this year because Travis Hunter might be the same example of coach speak affecting a super, super talented player. But it was crazy that like that good of a prospect got that bad of negative pub during his rookie training camp period.
Yeah, no,
we might get that with Hunter though. Like I said, like if Hunter's like, will some prospects I said this in the wide receiver, some other video. I said, I don't know if there's a player whose coach speak will affect them more in ADP than Travis Hunter this offseason.
Yeah.
Like if the Jags came out and said he's playing full-time offense, his ADP would go up a round and a half on Underdog. And if they said, oh, he's going to start more on defense this year, he'd go down 3.5 rounds.
Yeah, I could see that.
But anyways, Arthur, we're on your team. Let's go on a tangent. Drafted from the 12 spot, one of 13 redraft leagues. So we have a redraft team review here. This is not a dynasty team review. And now we're going to have to change the damn name of this video. I consider this my third job at this point. One of 13 redraft leagues is insane. Any trades you would make? Okay, so this is the team. Looks like you started 1-2 turn. You went Genty and Hunter by the looks of it. Genty and Hunter. What am I talking about? Genty and Achane. And then you went Harrison and Hunter probably in the 3-4 area. Tet McMillan, Josh Downs, Jordan Madison. I mean, for what it's worth, you did draft this like it was a dynasty roster. You went very young.
I mean, but like when you're plotting it out, though, okay, so we're saying Devon Achane and Ashton Genty on the 1-2 turn. Then we get Josh Allen plus Marvin Harrison, I'm assuming, on the 3-4 turn.
I didn't even see Josh Allen blind.
Yeah, on the 3-4 turn. Then you're getting probably Tedero, McMillan plus Hunter. Oh, Hunter at the 5-6.
Yeah, Hunter and McMillan at the 5-6 probably, and
then Madison 7-8.
Madison probably.
Yeah, no, this seems god tier. What I'm assuming happened is you're probably like, oh, I kind of want to get a tight end, but like they all just kept flying off the board because for some reason, especially if it's a sleeper league, tight ends will go like 30 picks above than they do on Underdog.
Oh, dude, sleeper ADP on TJ Hawkinson's like 53.
It's fucking nuts.
It's
like
super high.
Well, I remember it was Bowers specifically because I think the reason why I wasn't taking Bowers enough in sleeper leagues is because I was so used to getting him like 25 picks later on Underdog that like I was hesitant. I'm like, oh, that's where he goes, right? And then I'll see, he goes off the board like 81 overall. I'll be like, oh shit, I kind of like him there, but like that's 21 picks ahead of where I thought he would go. It's like sleeper versus Underdog. Like the one big difference is, hey, after tight end 3's off the board, tight ends in general are just completely
you're not seeing a 30 pick discrepancy, which there is a 35 pick discrepancy in tight end 3 in ADP George Kittle on Underdog and tight end 4 in ADP Sam Laporta. Because think about it, is a home redraft league mate casual gonna wait 35 picks to take a next tight end off the board?
Are they gonna take their second bench option or their starting tight end?
They're gonna go, oh, my roster's full now, I gotta take my tight end. Like
yeah, they don't think, hey, like maybe like bye weeks and injuries, I want a couple people off the bench. No. They'll just be like, me no have tight end. Me need tight end.
Yeah, no, exactly. But yeah, this is a really good looking squad. The one thing that I've been starting to take away from drafting near the end of the first round, which Arthur obviously did, given that he started with Genty and Achane, is starting with 2 running backs is actually really kind of appealing to me because I really love that top 7 of Achane, Genty, McCaffrey, Henry, and then the top 3 running backs, where you securing 2 of those guys at the start of your draft and knowing that in sleeper formats, you can get Harrison, you can get Hunter, you can get McMillan, you can get Emeka Egbuka at the 9-10 turn or wherever you drafted him here. It feels pretty good knowing that we're obviously used to Underdog ADP where you got to take Emeka Egbuka in like the 7th round.
Yep, for sure. But overall, I mean, just pay attention. Obviously, I'm not sure what tight ends would be available in the wire because they are sorted, I believe, by our dynasty rankings at this point, which I'm sure will be fixed.
No, these are redraft rankings for me. Achane's my RB4 in redraft, and Genty's my RB5. Otherwise, Genty would say RB3.
Oh,
because he's my
no. I think the rankings are right. I'm saying the waivers are off.
Penix is my QB20 in redraft.
He's not your 140th overall player.
He might be. I might not have tinkered with the overalls that far.
Maybe I'm off, but regardless,
I might have to move the QB. Maybe the QBs got pushed up for whatever reason, but I probably should have to move those guys down.
This is why I'm sketching. Okay, it's just a really deep league. Because I was gonna say, I'm like, surely there's tight ends available on the wire, but it's a start 9 redraft. And there's how many bench spots? So
Noah Gray being rostered in a start 9 redraft is pretty
That's
wild.
what I'm saying.
Shipley being rostered and stuff too is pretty.
Because I was like, surely there's going to be tight ends available, but there probably isn't if this many people are rostered then. Which like maybe you make a deal in season because Jordan Addison gets off suspension and you can deal Addison in a piece to go get a tight end that you like maybe Loveland starts slow out of the gates or something like that. You can experiment.
Yeah, I mean, I literally said this in today's video. If you really wanted to punt, fantasy this year at the tight end position, you could take Hunter Henry and Mason Taylor with your last 2 picks. I literally said exactly those 2 names.
Oh, they're not bad. I just think that in terms of the upside.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Like you're just taking Hunter Henry trying to get by and you're going to stream the position, and Mason Taylor is just the first option that you're going to try and fix your tight end spot with.
Sure.
Maybe week 2, Gadsden.
Maybe he's Sam Laporta,
waiver wire guy. Yeah. Maybe. week 3, Jatavian Sanders running a lot of routes, getting a lot of targets.
Theo Johnson.
Theo Johnson. Like I said, Gadsden, those guys. But anyways, this looks like a good squad. I would say good, 8.5, 9 out of 10 type of draft.
No, absolutely. Again, like maybe one tight end earlier where you got a receiver, but that's very nitpicky because I'm assuming you got those wide receivers because they were slipping in drafts because people were forcing tight ends off the board out of panic.
Yeah,
that's what I'm assuming happened.
Also, Arthur, I appreciate you hating tight end as much as I do.
Yeah, you hate tight end.
Let's move on to AJ's team. I think we're good. No one else has submitted a review since, so we'll probably make this the very
last also a redraft team.
Also a redraft team. Yeah, you guys are the only sickos drafting redraft leagues. Like, not even I'm sick enough to do this.
Full point tight end premium. Oh no, okay. So it's you submitted as a redraft. No, it's 26-1 and 27-1. So AJ, you submitted it wrong, bro. For us, for as much experience that you have submitting teams, I'm a little bit disappointed in you right now, AJ.
Yeah. Okay. So we got debated there, and it is actually a dynasty league here. So full 1 point tight end premium best ball. Hopefully, it doesn't load our redraft rankings, which in fact it did, which kind of skews everything here, because Derrick Henry is absolutely not my RB7 in dynasty.
Which, I mean, it's fine because we can contextually just look around it. Like, hey, Lamar Jackson, Jordan Love going to be high-priced dynasty assets. Wow. Jackson Dart, decent quarterback 3 option at running back. Quinshon Judkins going to be your number 1 running back. James Cook, I think you got a 4 stack that you can trust this year, but obviously Derrick Henry's not a dynasty RB7. Wide receiver, if we go down here, like that's probably similar order. Maybe Jaden Reed versus Chris Godwin's a little closer in dynasty, but like I think like this is just a well-structured team overall. What was the deals that he mentioned there?
The deals he mentioned was did move my 26-1 in both of the next 2 draft classes. He said I got to pull up and meet the boys. Just gonna take Danny and Bush to the bench and then leave. Yeah, you don't have to embarrass me in front of everyone, AJ.
At least I'll put on a show with you. We'll get to like a certain range, which to be honest, again, my max was 375. Now it's probably you'll load 315 on, and I'll get a rep, and I'll feel good about it. Because
all right, I'll see if I can max a couple like a plate on each side.
Let's go.
But anyways, full point tight end premium best ball as well. So having Njoku and Henry and Jonnu and best ball, I actually really like building up best ball cores where you kind of invest a little bit more in that middle tier of tight end where you just grab
start 13 by the way.
Yeah, so I mean these guys are just going to need to spike into your lineup, and like
this team can easily win.
Dude, Ray McLeod is such a ball knower fucking start 13 best ball pick because I think low-key is going to be on the field 85% of the snaps for the Falcons.
I tipped the fuck out of the Keenan Allen because inevitably a receiver is going to get hurt in the league, and then they're going to go to the wire and they're going to be like, oh, I have 3 options. Gabe Davis, whose legs might be cooked. Amari Cooper, who what the fuck happened to him after he got traded to the Bills? Or Keenan Allen, who, he had a couple like 2 touchdown games, like obviously, we both know at this point he's probably just name brand version of what Jarvis Landry was at the end of his career, where everybody kept asking, "Oh, where's Jarvis Landry going to go? He's going to affect somebody's receiver." And like Keenan Allen feels like that guy now, where like he's evidently washed, but maybe he'll have a couple 8 target games this year.
Yeah, Keenan Allen. It's funny because there's another receiver going in the same range of the draft that's being labeled as fat something. Last year that was Fat Keenan. This year it's Fat Debo. So
I called him Fat Keenan in our video.
The fat receiver is going to be.
Didn't I call him Fat Keenan in our video or something like that?
Yeah, and you know what? We were wrong.
Yeah, I mean, like he didn't like it was more so wrong because Odunze wasn't great. Like Keenan Allen is like, I'll feel comfortable missing if that's what the hit looked like.
I think he was like pretty decent, no?
Like 700 yards and 7 touchdowns.
No, he was better than that.
No.
Oh, he was. Yeah, you're right. Wide receiver 31. Okay, so he Quentin Johnstoned his way into some point production. Right, because you've used Keenan Allen as an example of Zay Flowers a million times, so I should know.
Yeah, he outscored Zay Flowers, by the way.
You know why I think it's a stupid comparison? Because Zay Flowers didn't get there by a PPR scamming his way there. He actually had 1,000 yards and 4 touchdowns, which is objectively a much more impressive stat line than 707.
Question, though, who's the better pick in fantasy football in 2024?
Yeah, I mean... For what it's worth, Keenan played all the games and, was just bad in some of them and better in others. And Flowers had 2 games that if you remove it, he was much better than Keenan Allen because he was running minimal routes.
Hey, question, did you start him in those games?
One of them, I don't think people would have started him in.
Okay. Fair enough.
He had 3 injury reports coming into that week, so it's possible he didn't get started by some people. But yeah, anyways, this team.
Why the fuck is Hampton down?
Jory Williams is just excited about Hampton, man. Don't be hating.
No, but what did something happen? Oh, the Chargers are signing Nyheim Hines. Is that what I'm worried about?
Nyheim Hines is a functional human in society still.
He hasn't played in 2 seasons due to a knee injury caused by a jet ski. What the report
I forgot
says.
About that.
Didn't he fucking rip his knee in half or something?
Yeah. I forgot he got absolutely mapped by a jet ski.
Fucking A. Respectfully, I'm not concerned about Omari Hampton's value with the down arrows.
I will say. Amari and Hampton just lost all of his receiving upside. No, I'm just kidding.
Some people are going to say that, bro.
No, dude. People are going to say it for sure. But yeah, he's not a functional.
Wasn't it a gruesome fucking injury too? He hasn't played in 2 seasons.
It's funny that him and Tariq Cohen both went away at the exact same time.
Yeah.
They were both functionally usable PPR 0 RB guys for 2 or 3 calendar years. And then they both decided to disintegrate as humans. Their bodies were just completely cooked at exactly the same time.
Yeah, Nyheim Hines in his final season with Buffalo. Can you care to guess what his rushing stats were?
Probably non-existent.
So I'll tell you. So the split with Indianapolis, right? In 7 games, he had 18 carries for 36 yards and a touchdown, right? Okay. And then he got traded to Buffalo. If you remember, in 2022, he got traded to Buffalo.
They traded an asset for him.
Yeah, I think he was as a returner bait, on the
right.
Basis. Yes. But he had 6 carries for -3 yards. So yeah. As a receiver, because obviously people point out, well, what about as a receiver? To his defense, in those 7 games for the Colts, 4 targets per game, 25 catches, 188 yards, 0 touchdowns. When he got traded to Buffalo, 5 catches on 9 targets, 53 yards and a touchdown. So he was still functional as a receiver, but I'm curious how that looks without a knee.
Yeah, no, literally. And I tend to agree with Katz here. It's this is probably anti-Najee news, which is ultimately the part that's good for Hampton, is that they felt the need to sign another running back.
Yeah, let me see. I'm trying to see if I can find the sustaining a leg injury in a personal watercraft accident in which he and another jet ski just collided with each other. So his leg just fucking... it just has a leg injury. It doesn't even see what it was. Injury. Now I'm digging down a rabbit hole, man. I'm fucking seeing. Okay, so he suffered a torn ACL while being hit on a jet ski by another rider. So it was a torn ACL injury. Hey?
Yeah, sorry, I was answering some text there. Chargers need to sign Pierre Paul to build the ultimate non-football injury team. That's funny as hell. But yeah. We have anything else on AJ's team here? Any moves that we would suggest? I mean, I look at this roster and I don't see anybody that sticks out like a sore thumb as overvalued.
You moved your 1, so you moved your 1, so you know your intention. Your team obviously in a start 13 context, usable wide receiver context, 4 running backs with workloads, plus a couple more with upside off the bench and handcuff situations. I would say 3 usable production tight ends right away, with 1 with upside as an insulation piece with Fannin. And then in terms of quarterback, I mean, we'll see when Dart ends up getting on the field. My personal opinion is we do see the majority of Russell Wilson in 2025. But who's to say? What if they start out 3-9 and the fan base is clamoring for Jackson Dart to get on the field? There's still an upside case scenario where the Giants aren't a very good football team and they want to throw out the first round pick at the end of the year.
Yeah, he said something about. He said this league has a crazy running back scoring 1 point first down and 2.25 per carry. So I mean, Henry's going to be an absolute fucking monster in a format like that because he's getting first downs and carries like crazy.
Yeah. Okay, so you're going to win this league then.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of sucks that in this format, Kamara and James Cook would presumably lose some value because they're not big carry guys.
I mean, like Alvin Kamara's pure carry workload's gone up dramatically. In the last 3
has.
years.
You're right. I mean, Judkins, when he starts, will probably be really valuable for a format like this too, because he's the type of guy that was literally his role at Ohio State, was to get first downs and carry the football consistently. So, yeah, we'll have to wait and see what happens there. For sure. On the clock in a rookie draft, Shedeur Likely currently in the 3rd round.
Likely.
Isaiah Likely?
Yeah.
I guess there's maybe veterans involved. Yeah, I mean, Isaiah Likely's the easy pick there.
For sure.
Counts for Lamar too. Yeah. Oh God, dude, he's a beast. Then
point per carry with Lamar. Oh my God.
Yeah, he's going to score 28, 30 fantasy points a game in that type of format. That's absolutely electric. Team looks like it's in good shape. Going to fit the build, of course, and the scoring format. Looks like we should be done here. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Yes, as I mentioned when Dylan asked earlier, we are going to have an updated rookie rankings tier list. Because some sickos are not drafting this time, or some sickos are still drafting rookie drafts this time of year, or maybe we're the sickos and normal people draft rookie drafts this time of year. And then RB dead zone strategy, talking through that. Like, I would say, who's the first running back that you would call a dead zone back in the traditional sense of before? To me, the answer is Kamara. Kamara to me sticks out as like the first dead zone back, quote unquote. Not saying that's necessarily a bad thing. I'm just saying he's the first guy I would call a dead zone back.
I don't believe this guy is a dead zone back because I do think the team likes him enough to the point where he's not at risk of losing volume, or he's not at risk, given his age, of potentially just declining even worse as a player. But it wouldn't at all shock me if Kyren Williams really disappointed. Again, I don't have him valued in that tier. I do have him in the tier above. So
I wouldn't call him a dead zone back unless
that's what I mean. I wouldn't say him as my answer.
Negative coach speak would make him one for sure.
But that's what I mean. It's like I can see in a down case scenario where we look back on the year and be like, oh my God, like he was a clear dead zone back. How did we not see this coming? But that's not where I'm currently thinking. In terms of the actual specific dead zone that you asked for here,
I think you can argue that Chase Brown's a dead zone back.
No.
For the same reason. Like, we could look back a year from now and be like, how did we not know that this guy wasn't a dead zone back?
He was way more efficient. And
he was, but like, I'm still, as much as I like Chase Brown, I'm still not convinced he's as good as the running backs going around him in ADP as the player.
I just frankly disagree. I think he's actually, I think he's a fringe top 10 level talent at the position. I really do.
For sure. Yeah, we're going to talk about all those guys
between him and
Hampton, Kamara, Walker, Cook, Hubbard, Connor, Henderson, Pacheco, Swift, those type of guys that are going mixing in the actual like traditional rounds 4 to 7 of what the dead zone used to be.
Well, I was also going to point out a guy that I was higher on at the beginning of the offseason, but I am growing a little bit more concerned about because of how he got there last year. I have lowered Chuba Hubbard a decent bit. I initially had him as a clear top 13, top 14 running back. It's just we are hearing a little bit more of a drum beat on Trevor Etienne. I do think Rico Dowdle is an efficient runner. I'm scared, even though I think it's going to be more valuable touches in a better offensive situation. He didn't really have a competition for touches last year, and I'm just curious how that kind of touch split is going to be divvied up, because I think all three backs are capable of making it a committee.
Yeah, I think you can argue, like, seriously, what's the difference between Chuba Hubbard and Isaiah Pacheco and DeAndre Swift? Like, you could definitely get me there in that. Like,
they're not too far off for me.
Like, they're not too far off for me either. I actually have them 20, 21, and 22 in my running back rankings. Like, I have James Conner and Trevion Henderson over Chuba Hubbard. I made that switch a couple days ago.
Yeah. I have Conner a little bit lower because of the age and the injury concerns. But, like, realistically, if you told me he played a full 17 games, I mean, I'd be ranking that guy probably as like a top 14 to 15 running back, Conner.
Yeah,
that's just the built-in concern is why I have him lower.
I'm not going to do the Benson thing until I start hearing the Cardinals do the Benson thing. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to be like, he's going to take over, because nothing in an Arizona Cardinals employee, garbage man, sanitation person, from the head coach down, has ever said that Trey Benson was taking over this backfield. It's something that we've manufactured since he was drafted.
And I agree. Again, my basis for being lower is more so just on the inevitability, given his track record, that he misses time. And if that looks like, oh, he actually misses 12 games this year as opposed to missing 3 games. It's like, if he misses 3 games, like, if you get him at like RB18, RB19 cost, I think that's very reasonable. if he misses 6 or more, it's like, well, then at that point, what if he becomes 12? What if he becomes 30? Like, he seems like the type of player where if he suffers an injury, it'd be lingering. Just
yeah, I mean, 30 years old with like
that's what I mean.
1,700 career touches. Like any running back who gets banged up at that point is probably going to get their season derailed, most likely. Yeah. But the nice thing from a redraft perspective, as opposed to like best ball or something, is that you probably would have a nice cushion of a couple really good games at the beginning of the year to tier up.
It's just the risk tolerance. It's like, for example, for me, the risk tolerance with like McCaffrey, for example, is a guy that I'd be taking as the RB1 off the board. I'm getting at a discount of RB6, RB7. I'm willing to take, or RB7, sorry, RB5, RB6. I'm willing to take him there because of where I would have him ranked if I had no conscience of him potentially getting hurt. I mean, we could talk about it across the board. I have Joe Mixon kind of devalued a little bit because I think the injury risk is a little bit higher. I have guys
like that. His fucking ass in my rankings.
Like, he's already entering offseason with a fucking boot, no?
Yeah, dude, I have Brian Robinson ahead of him.
Yeah, no, I'm not quite there, but
I'm not convinced he's going to get more than a 60 to 70% opportunity share too. It's not even just that I think the Texans line is bad and that he may be banged up and all this kind. Like Nick Chubb might literally split carries with him.
Yeah, no, I feel you. Yeah, I just maybe I'm blindsided by, or blindside is not the right word. Blinded by this, but. To me, I'm looking at Chase Brown, access to an elite offense, an elite workload that we saw last year, no real touch competition behind him. Every report that we're hearing from the coaches is pointing to how they view him as a true like difference maker in their offense. I'm not sure if you saw the report from their offense coordinator. He pointed to that today. It's like all the tea leaves right now are pointing to like they want him to be their bell cow running back. And I think he's talented enough to be able to take that on like we saw at the end of last year. So to me, like, I have Chase Brown.
As long as that drumbeat continues, I'll stay with the program on Chase Brown. I'm nervous that we're going to start hearing, like, was he the bell cow out of necessity, or was he the bell cow because he's clearly the dude and they want him to be the dude? Because if they start hyping up the other backs, I'm not sure Chase Brown's the caliber of talent to fend off a Taj Brooks if he is actually good. Like, if Taj Brooks is a decent player and is going to contribute and maybe he's the type of guy that the coaching staff feels like they need to get on the field, I don't think Chase Brown's like, oh yeah, we got to give him 80% of the touches, 90% of the touches.
That's just the difference. Taj Brooks has to do something that'll dictate touches away from Chase Brown. And I like I said, I think the difference is a top 10 fringe type of talent at the running back position to a potential committee contributor. Like, I don't think Taj Brooks is anything other than a committee contributor, which again, as a 6th round pick, obviously if you're the Bengals, you're ecstatic if he can get you 10 touches a game, but I don't see him as a significant threat.
Yeah. And I think I have Chase Brown probably ranked exactly where you do.
I have him at 20th overall. I think the difference though,
I don't have him that high, but among running backs, where is he ranked for you?
Running back 8.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I don't have him ranked where you do. So I am at 11.
I recently maneuvered my tiers on the site in terms of my overall rankings. I do have him, and I'm sure you saw that in the running back tier rankings. I have him in a tier with Derrick Henry right now.
Okay, yeah. So I'm definitely not there with Chase Brown. Like, I have Chase Brown as my 24th overall player, and I have him, my 25th overall player behind the 2 tight ends, and I have him in a tier among running backs with Bucky Irving, Jonathan Taylor, and Josh Jacobs. Yeah. And he's the last of that tier for me.
Yeah, if you're a little bit more pessimistic on the projection, I think
that's about where I'm at with Chase. I feel like I'm getting access to some shares at that price because I'm not going to be completely fading him, obviously, but I'm also not going to probably end up with much more than like 8% of him on Underdog because I do think that Irving is the better projection because I think he's the better player. I also think that Jonathan Taylor and Jacobs just have like a significantly safer workload and are also, I just feel bullish on both offenses too. It's not like I have just bullish on Cincinnati's offense.
I have 17.2% Chase Brown, including having him on, I believe, either all of my big dog teams or all but one of them.
Okay. So yeah, you're definitely all in on the dude. For what it's worth, dude, I have 11 running backs inside my top 25 because I actually I generally like taking a running back maybe too early. And Breece Hall is also my 27th overall player, and he's just outside of that range.
In full disclosure, like me getting Chase Brown to 20th overall was literally just being on the clock in so many 2-3 turns and like going through the cases. It's like with Josh Jacobs, it's like we had concerns over the potential volume. We've already talked about this offseason. If the volume in terms of the passing game spikes up for the Packers, maybe we sort of see a Derrick Henry situation.
He's the one guy that even if I got where you are on Chase Brown, I still wouldn't have him over Jacobs. The highest I could get is over Irving and Taylor, I think.
Well, let me finish, right? The reason why Chase Brown versus Josh Jacobs, if he does get the workload, don't get me wrong, like obviously that's the if, but like comparing it to the downside case of Jacobs, they throw the football more, he loses some more third down work, a la Justice Hill filling in for Derrick Henry, and maybe some of those goal line carries he got last year because Love's healthier turn into some red zone passing attempts. Like I think that would be the negative for the Josh Jacobs. Again, I'm still taking him on that 2-3 turn. They are within a tier. Chase Brown, when I'm just comparing his profile to the others, Jonathan Taylor, a lot more volatile, worse offense, doesn't catch passes. Bucky Irving, workload, injury concerns last year. Will he really become a full-fledged workhorse running back like Devon Achane has? I'm a little bit more pessimistic on. Like when I'm comparing his cases to like those other running backs, I feel more confident in Chase Brown because it really just bolts down to, does he receive the work he does last year? If my answer is to that, yes. The offense is going to be there. Obviously, the workload questions would be off the table, and he does get a 3-down profile with the receiving game too. So, like, I'm just checking the boxes for Chase Brown. And obviously, you're going to know a lot more when you go to the league-winning running back video. Like when you do like look at the boxes.
Well, I imagine he's going to check a lot of boxes, and you've actually convinced me that I will move him ahead of Bucky Irving. I'm still going to keep Jonathan Taylor ahead of him though, because I think JT's high end range of outcomes is a Derrick Henry caliber 5.5 yards per carry, 1,800 rushing yard type of season this year.
Yeah, I mean, like he's got the talent level to be able to get there. I don't fault you for that.
Yeah, and I am factoring in a little bit, but like you said, if I knew he was going to get his week 9 onward workload, he'd probably be like my RB 5 or 6.
Yeah. Also, by the way, I see Breece Hall comment. Breece Hall is not too far behind as well. Breece Hall I have as my RB 10. So I just mentioned right there how
I'm at
Josh.
12.
So you have the difference is you Jonathan Taylor and Bucky, right?
Yeah, I have Bucky and Jonathan Taylor ahead of Breece.
That'd be the
I
only difference.
think given the offense and the insulation of the like they're all really good running backs, and Breece has been derailed by his offense before, and it's projected to be a bottom 5 offense according to implied point totals right now. So as much as maybe I think the Jets can be improved, well, when you stack up the NFL teams around the league and you go, yeah, they're probably not going to be a top 15 offense.
It's just more so the basis. He's got the access to be the number 2 in targets on the team. That's really appealing. If we do get a little bit more efficiency on the ground game, maybe a couple more carries than what we saw last year. Because for what it's worth, everybody kept talking about, oh, well, like he's losing touches to, Braylon Allen. He's losing touches to Isaiah Davis. But
I'm not worried about that shit, honestly. The offensive stuff and the like that kind of thing is the part that worries me. But the targets and the efficiency increase that he should see, because the offensive line was ranked like top 10 by PFF entering the year too. Like after adding Membu and having Fashanu now in his second year and stuff, like it's starting to look like a much better unit, and Fields inherently is probably going to make him run more efficiently too, because he runs the ball himself. It's not like, think about if Danny, you played defense. Think about if you were playing against a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers who can't move. Like when you just know inherently a run heavy formation, you're selling out to stop Breece Hall, because not only that, but Aaron Rodgers didn't even like running play action. Like they wouldn't even hit you over the top of the play action pass.
Well, I was just going to add to that too, because everybody's like, oh, the workload. It's like, actually Breece Hall on a per game basis, despite multiple games leaving early and playing limited snaps, keep this in mind, right? Had 14 less carries and 1 less game last year than he did in his RB2 finish in 2023. So like the actual carry workload itself, he had more carries per game in 2024 than 2023, but the Jets offensive line was an objective disaster last year compared to expectations. They do revitalize. I believe they bring in a new offensive line coach, new offense coordinator, completely overhaul the coaching staff. So number one, I expect that to continue improving. On top of that, Olu Fashanu entering year 2, you had Armand Membu in the draft. Like I think inherently you're getting a better offensive line performance. And like I said, like, he only had 57 targets in 16 games last year after 76 in 17 games. If he gets back to that target workload where Justin Fields, funny enough,
a shit ton of targets. He just needs to be more efficient on them.
95 targets versus 76 targets. My apologies. I was actually 76 receptions 2023 versus 57 receptions. But
even if he has 76 targets, that's still an extremely good workload for a running back to have. Anybody who rostered Breece Hall last year, you had him in the flock league, I had him in my home league.
When he was good, he was good.
Single play was pulling teeth struggle level. It was the O-line blew up every single run. Every single screen pass was sniffed out by a linebacker on the opposing defense. Nothing worked in the Jets offense. Nothing.
Yeah. Well, I'll point it out, like in the earlier weeks, it's like he was actually like playing well and being productive. Like if you look at his earlier season games, like if we look I mean, for example, week 1 against the Niners, he scores a touchdown. He has 5 catches, 22 overall opportunities. Just the rushing efficiency wasn't there. The week after, he had 7 catches, 52 yards, and a touchdown in the receiving game versus Tennessee. It's like you look at the early portion of the year, really before the Denver game.
18 point per game seasons, or 3 straight 18 point per game games to start the year.
The Denver game was really just like the turning point, I would say, because then the team completely forgot how to run the football. Aaron Rodgers is immobile, and outside of one really good game against the Bills, it's like it was really big time inefficiency in that portion of the year.
Yeah. Well,
Top that later in the year, he gets hurt.
They were really good defenses at the beginning of the year. They were unbelievably good defenses at the start of the year.
Also, I love Breece Hall, but like he should not be going next to Genty.
No, but I do think that Breece represents an area where I'm scared of I'm not scared of the running backs, but like I generally prefer the wide receiver, quarterback, and George Kittle-ish projections in round 3, 4, 5. Where like if you start your draft with CeeDee Lamb or something at 104, and you grab, let's say, Josh Jacobs and Breece Hall at the 2-3 turn, like you should feel pretty nice about that, knowing that people are going to be chasing your Josh Jacobs and Breece Hall double stack of running backs into the 4th round, into the 5th round, into the 6th round. So in my home league, like hopefully nobody's listening to this from my home league, my ideal start from my 9 hole would be Puka Nacua, Devon Achane, Breece Hall. That would be exactly what I would want in my first 3 rounds.
Yeah. No, that would be fair. CF, how much do I have to pay for you to rate my team? So if you go over on Flock Fantasy, again, there is the link pinned in both of our description and in the live chat. If you do want to get your team reviewed, just click that link. It'll be able to set you up, and every option there will be kind of explained to you.
And the cheapest way to get one is that if you're not an annual site subscriber at the moment, you can get a free team review by using promo code FSE, signing up for an annual. If you think about it, you get an annual right now, covered through the redraft season, regular season of fantasy football, all the way to the Dynasty, rookie season, rookie draft season, and you get a free team review that way. But I believe the cheapest in terms of the actual price point, if you don't have an annual voucher left, is if you're a site subscriber using our code. I believe it's $55, if I'm not mistaken. So that is the cheapest you can get it. But anyways, we should probably sign off here.
This is the last thing I'll say. Cat's combination of all 3 is why he goes higher.
Workload, talent, offense. Offense projects almost exactly the same. According,
I would take the Raiders offense over the Jets.
I mean, I would too, but it does project almost exactly the same according to the Vegas implied totals. Yeah. Talent wise, I think you can make an argument that Breece Hall's really, really good still, and maybe that he, as a rookie, Genty won't be quite as good as Breece Hall would be as a 4th-year player. But
hit rates of this prospect caliber that go this high, 18.5 points per game.
Yeah, and workload, I do think will favor Genty as well.
Yeah. So that's it. Again, not to say Breece Hall isn't a great pick. I honestly think if he was valued at the 2-3 turn, I'd still be willing to draft him there because that's about where I have him ranked. I'm curious, actually, if I check my overalls, I believe he's like 25th on the dot.
Do you have Genty or McCaffrey ranked higher, by the way?
I have McCaffrey ranked higher. I have Ashton Genty either 12 or 13. Let me take a look.
I have Achane, Genty, and McCaffrey are my 10, 11, 12 in that order.
The difference for me is I do have the wide receivers higher than you. I
think the reason I don't is because I like Drake London and AJ Brown more than you do. So if I'm in a redraft league picking at the 11 hole, I'll take the running back first, knowing that whatever wide receiver I get at 14 between Thomas and Collins and Drake London, AJ Brown, whatever, is probably it's not as big of a deal to me. Neighbors and Puka are the ones that I have elevated to the point that it's a consequential thing for me.
Yeah. And that's reasonable for me. The way I look at it is, given current ADP, I know I can usually get Devon Achane at the back half, like the early portion of the second. So I'd rather defer my running back pick to Devon Achane at a cheaper opportunity cost and get my pick at wide receiver.
Yeah. Yeah. My hard decision right now is if Puka and Neighbors are gone and my top 8 goes precisely how I have it ranked, who am I going to pick? My top 8 players in redraft this year are Neighbors and Puka are my 7 or my 6 actually, because I have them over Jefferson. 6, 7, 8 are Puka, Jefferson, Neighbors, and then you would imagine the top 5 are the top 5.
Yeah.
Who do I pick at 9 if that happens? That's the doomsday board for me, essentially, based on my rankings. Do I
pick? You have ranked highest?
I have St. Brown ranked at 9, but I go back and forth on this almost on a daily basis. Do I put, because the other thing,
I have St. Brown at 14. I don't think I'm the right guy for that.
Well, here's the tough thing for me, because Achane is ranked at 10 for me, but Achane I might get in the 2nd round. So putting him at 9, even though I think actually, he probably should be my 9th overall player, I might get him in my 2nd pick.
Yeah, I mean, my answer would be grab McCaffrey or Nico Collins, but obviously you knew that was coming.
Well, McCaffrey, I guess, is the one that I kind of agree with because I have him at 12 and he's in the tier with St. Brown, Achane, and Genty for me. But I just hope that doesn't happen, honestly. I hope I just get Puka falling to me or Neighbors falling to me.
Yeah, God, same page. Like I think Nico, best wide receiver there. McCaffrey, the best running back there for me.
Yeah. I mean, full PPR, big play bonuses in my league. I mean, big play bonuses benefit Nico for sure. But full PPR, I think that I gotta favor St. Brown personally.
I don't. But that's fine.
But that's fair. And the other thing too is like it's also that 0.25 first down bonuses to running backs, and it's full PPR. You could definitely argue I should have McCaffrey.
I mean, if you want to go with a double hero because you got the running back influence in the points, like that's fine.
Well, I have the part that makes this challenging too is that I almost know for sure Breece Hall is going to be there in the third round, and if I take two running backs off the top, I don't want to pass on Breece Hall in the third round. You know what I mean?
Well, that's the other thing too. By the way, Cats, I agree. Nico big play bonus is just like erotic in my ears.
Let's just pray for Puka falling to me because Puka falling to me means that I get a running back ideally with my second pick, whether it's Genty, Achane, McCaffrey, and then I get with my third pick Breece Hall. And like in the sleeper ADP, by the way, Christian McCaffrey goes off the board 16th.
If you got to beat 11 dudes, why take CMC?
I mean, beating 11 people is hard still.
Yeah, it's
not easy. It's not like I'm in a 3-man league.
Like if Arthur, if the thesis is, oh, I got to be lucky and he stays healthy, but if he stays healthy, he could be the highest scoring player in fantasy. It doesn't matter if you're competing 11 against 11 people or 2 million people for that matter. Like obviously, like you're gonna hit at a larger scale against 2 million people, but being right's being right. If you hit 25 points per game because the 49ers are a top 5 scoring offense, McCaffrey scores 17 all-purpose touchdowns and 1,800 yards from scrimmage. It's like maybe he doesn't have 2,200 yards from scrimmage level upside. It's like he's probably not going to be like a 1,200 yard rusher and a 1,000-yard receiver at this point in his career. But
I've made the case that I think it's very possible he has an Alvin Kamara like season as well, like in point production, like 18, 19 points per game, which would still be really good. But I think he's either elite or he's a bust is not actually how I view McCaffrey. I think there's 3 outcomes.
And Arthur, I think this was reasonable. They're all in the same tier for me. Really, for me, I just like prioritize the upside of a CMC, and I'm not as worried about the downside concern because by all accounts, it does sound like he's healthy at this point. Obviously, I mean, that can change. Come August, we hear some more pessimism around McCaffrey. When I'm actually, push comes to shove, 9th overall pick in my redraft league, do I go the McCaffrey direction? I can say that confidently in July 21st, but August 28th comes around, maybe my answer changes a little bit of tune as we hear more reports. McCaffrey's the guy that's going to be subject to negative reports.
Gun to my head right now, I have Achane ranked 9th, but the problem, like I said, is that Achane might be there in my second round. Could I live with myself knowing that I could have taken McCaffrey or whoever my 10th overall player is, and then also gotten my 9th overall player? Because I do think there's a very good chance I will get him in the second round.
I guess the upside case, the contrary for McCaffrey is in a redraft setting, you don't have to hold him for 17. So even if you take the risk on him early, if he has a couple of his big weeks early in the season, like you can totally rebound on the name cachet of it. Like, hey guys, like this guy just went first overall last year. Like you don't want to trade for this guy. Are you
22.3 points through the first 5 weeks of the season, and also for cuckers as well, you could just stash Garendo the whole year if you wanted to.
Yeah. By the way, Ontario, comment that the 7th time. Maybe we'll read it.
Yeah. I'll answer it just so he shuts up. 2 quarterback league.
We'll answer it, but we got to meet you. That's the only conversation here.
Josh Allen, Devon Achane, and Drake London for Bo Nix, CeeDee Lamb, and Genty.
Josh Allen.
I'd say the Josh Allen side probably wins here.
That's your warning. I haven't seen you in chat before, but if you do that again, then you're getting a timeout.
But let me, the very last thing I'll say, and then we'll sign off here.
Yeah.
Would you, knowing let's say I told you crystal ball, McCaffrey plays 13 games this year, fully healthy, but 4 times you're gonna start Garendo and he's gonna be an absolute baller for you, and he's gonna help you weather the storm of Christian McCaffrey. Even though we are pretty adamantly against handcuffing your own running back, would you hold Garendo the whole year, knowing that
I think
between the 2 49ers starting running backs, you probably have a 22 point per game score?
I think handcuffing is an issue when it's, you're drafting Aaron Jones on the 2-3 turn and then also drafting AJ Dillon round 6. I think that was just a horrible play of assets. But if the consequences, if I draft McCaffrey at 8th overall, then I need to swing a 14th round pick on Garendo. Yeah,
even
I'm
like an
fucking fine
11th
doing
round
that.
pick just to make sure you get him or something like that. Again, it's the
reasonable.
first time I'm like, I can kind of see why someone would do it. Because normally I'm just like, don't fucking draft your own handcuff, draft other people's handcuffs. But
it's all relative to opportunity cost. If it's a fucking if it, for example, like 11th round last year, I took like Adonai Mitchell.
Yeah, like that's why I'm like, could I burn a bench spot all year knowing that I have Christian's handcuffed the whole time? Yeah, handcuffing your risky first round pick. That's when I'm maybe okay with, especially when you know exactly who the handcuff is. He's going to be a stud when the guy's out. Like I wouldn't handcuff Tyler Algier to Bijan because I know Bijan's a young running back who's not really likely to get injured. But if someone told me I know it's going to be Algier's baller ass show if Bijan goes down, it's not outrageous.
Also, we joked about this. Imagine the Kyle Shanahan sees a Jordan with some dreadlocks, just thinks he's Mason and throws him out on the field, you know?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Your worst advice is drafting 2 QBs or tight ends in most redraft leagues. I honestly, dude, Tyler Warren, Dallas Goedert stack to the moon, man. I think it's totally fine to do. I'm not suggesting you hold them all year. Like Danny just mentioned, he drafted Adonai Mitchell in the 11th round. If I get Dallas Goedert in round 13 to make sure I can start a tight end who's going to be really solid for the first couple of weeks while Tyler Warren or Colston Loveland gets his routes up or whatever, I'm fine with it personally. P.S. Love you guys day in, day out posting content. I drive 3K to 5K miles a month, so constantly consuming FF vids and appreciate the daily content. Retired Ridley Truther. Also same, dude. Ricky Pearsall, Dynasty buy for a first or too steep? Definitely too steep for me. I'd pay an early second at absolute most for Ricky Pearsall at the moment. But anyways, we got to sign off because my brain cells are torched. I did an entire fucking tight end league winners video today. But if you guys want to check that out, go check it out. Tomorrow we'll have the updated rookie rankings. But with that being said, peace out. We'll talk to you soon.